What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 4GQTV. And we have a fantastic panel today. Midway should be joining us later after his football practice. I hope everybody can hear me okay, because the other day my OBS for some reason didn't work on recording. But we have the Grand Master of Art, the Grand Museum of TVs behind him, and the guy who can do Mona Lisa better than Mona Lisa is Graphic God. Everybody, round of applause. Welcome, Woo! Graphic God.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. I like to do drawings.
It is his first time, I think, on 4G.
No, I think this might be my second time.
Are you sure about that?
Maybe. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. We're at that age now, right? Right, Jay?
Exactly. I'm over 40, so like nothing matters anymore.
We take naps in the day and everything.
Damn right, naps are the best.
Our naps, yeah. And then we have the most electrifying man in all YouTube land. And that's the way he says it. He got, I think he got that inspiration from me, just like that. Most electrifying man in all YouTube land. Welcome, PK.
What's happening? I'm glad to be here, and I'm surprised that all my family jumped on to have a conversation, so I'm happy. I am unfortunately not able to hit the camera today because I'm still working on stuff, but however, I'm still here in the spirit, like usual.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. And then we have our friend from our Xbox party chats, who's in there almost all day long with us, and we make jokes back and forth. I once thought he was Australian. Believe it or not, I really did think he was Australian, and he quickly changed that. It's Timmy.
Australian.
Timmy. That's sometimes I do.
Hello,
yeah.
He still says, "I'm your Australian friend."
Yes, I do. I introduce him as my Australian friend. PK's not a cat today because he's actually stuck at work.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, unfortunately. Yes, sir.
It's way too late to be at work.
I know I gotta get something done. It's high level.
Even Timmy's home and he's in the Australian time zone.
Not from Australia, man.
No, are you sure? Timmy, can you confirm or deny if you're from Australia?
I'm not from Australia.
Okay, he's not from Australia.
Timmy, answer this question. Does shrimp get cooked on the Barbie or is shrimp from the Barbie? I don't understand that concept.
They normally say have a shrimp on the Barbie, don't they?
Yeah, I don't understand it.
So he might be he might have ties to Australia. Wow. Right. Timmy, thank you for proving us. And and Mama Rock.
Well, they normally say a snag, but like a shrimp or a snag, like it's that different.
Yeah, Mama Rock says it's British wool. And then we have another amazing guest.
She's saying I'm British. She's saying he is British. Woo, like saying I'm British.
Oh, is that okay? I thought she said you're British wool, like wool from sheep.
The Queen's English.
Like like Australia, they get wool from sheep. No, long story. Bloody, welcome
None of
back.
That makes any sense.
I always make sense, Jay. That's the one thing most people will always tell you is that I make sense. Bloody, welcome back. It's a pleasure having you. You're always awesome. I know that you and I have both denied Pokemon Unite, and together we must stand against the tyrants of Pokemon Unite. So, welcome back, and what's going on, man?
It's good, and I gotta say, right there, are you telling me, clowns, that we have to unite against Pokemon?
Absolutely.
But to everyone else, oh hi, yo, Mina, you already know who it is, Bloody Nuts, aka the Gothic Gamer, your resident anime king, but more importantly, the king of the Fight Club. It's always great to be over here with the 4GQTV family. I was like, always love to see you clowns and appreciate whenever you ask me on. Of course, always love to see my brother PK, as well as to finally be doing the show with the magistrate of the magic art himself, It's finally good to be doing something with Graphic God. I was like, Jay, I've known you for years now, and
Yes,
it's good to
quite a
actually be doing something actually with you live. I was like, I know we've talked to party chats before, and Flamish, it's always good to see you again. I know we've done something here and there, and of course, Timmy. I was like, I've talked with Timmy on a couple party chats here and there. I was like, he's always a good dude and a fun time. But so many good topics. I was like, and I'm just glad to be doing it here with you, wonderful guys.
Awesome, man. Well, glad you're back with us. And, you know, next to you, you have Mr. Potato Man.
Oh yes, the Flemish potato.
He's
The
from
Flemish
Venice,
potato.
as you could tell from the boats in the background. He's from Venice. He says the flag is not of Italia, but it's hard to prove that. So how's it going there as a floating potato over water? Are you worried that you might sink?
No, I'm a magic potato. Come on. No, but always happy to be here. Just to put things a little bit up for me as a person, and I'm happy to be here as always, Klaus. We have a lot to talk about. I'm excited.
I have a
And also
question.
sad.
Do you perform magic, or are you just a magic potato?
Who knows?
Well, I'm expecting some magic tricks.
I can change myself into
Or
whatever I
load of
want.
waffle.
Can you turn yourself into a thing of French fries?
Flamish is dancing as always. That is so true. He is dancing as
Well,
always.
3, 2, 1, magic! Oh!
He is a magic potato. I believe now.
I don't know if you guys caught this, but when I first started the stream, Flamish was actually an anime character that looked like from Genshin Impact or something.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. There you go. I'm an anime
Oh,
character
look
now.
at
Everyone's
you.
got the
Hey.
cute little.
You are
Jay,
so
you-
pretty.
Beautiful.
You have permission to clip that and make that into something, Jay? You have my permission.
Oh, 100%.
You got to
Okay,
make
good.
that as his new gamer pick or something.
Oh my god.
Jay's already
Flemish,
working on it.
Fla-
You hear the
Flemish,
keyboard?
Make that
His
your
new animated
make that
gamer
your
pick,
pick.
innit, Jay?
Make that his
And
pick.
Prince
If he
Street.
makes it, if he makes that his profile pic, he's gonna be getting so many messages.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
Well, and we have Midway that's about to come in. I'm gonna give
Ooh.
him a proper welcome.
Here's the real question, clowns.
Yeah.
Where's Infinite?
Infinite, he drank a few beers early, said he couldn't make it.
Oh, couldn't make it, or did he pass out?
I think he probably passed out, but you might have to put him in the box of shame.
Oh, he's definitely going in the box of shame.
Yeah, he might have to. Are you hosting that next week, by the way?
I'm not hosting. He is hosting. By the way, I'm going to be camping until Tuesday. So I'm not even going to be able to help him with anything that day. I'm probably not even going to get home until the afternoon. So he's going to have to do everything himself for Tuesday.
Okay.
Hello.
Well, we have the Hulk of Chicago with
Hello,
us.
Midway.
He just... Timmy, we got to call him... When we introduce him, he is known as the Hulk of Chicago.
Ah, the Hulk of Chicago. Ah.
Take the
Right.
stairs. Take the stairs. That's basically
go.
what I do my complaining Hulk. I mean, if everybody remembers, what was it, Infinity War or Endgame? Which one was it?
It was
It
Endgame.
was Endgame.
Endgame. There you go. Yeah. Are we on right now?
Yeah, we're
We
live.
are.
Oh, hey. What's up, everyone? Just got back from football practice, so it's gonna run a little tight. Me getting on the podcast, but I am going to do my best to make it on time. Hope everyone's doing well. I see some awesome people on the panel, especially Timmy, and Potato Flamish. Just getting my bearings right now. So, thanks again for having me on, and let's have a good show tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, I don't know if you want to see this, Midway. I don't know if you heard while you were waiting, but Flamish also has a anime version of himself that Graphic God will be making into a picture soon. I'm not sure if you want him to grace your presence with that character for a moment.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. There you go. Have fun.
Hey,
Hi.
hey.
I
Hey, just
can't
get rid
get
of the
over it.
facial hair and you'll be.
You know what's
passable.
disturbing? You know what's disturbing? He's actually prettier than one of my ex-girlfriends.
Oh,
Wow.
Were you drunk the whole time?
Flemish.
whatever she's saying that you're.
It was my
pretty
college
princess.
year, so yes.
Yeah, he had beer goggles. on.
Yes, I'm pretty.
You're a pretty princess, Flemish.
Well, I think the first topic I want to start out with, because Jay is a huge Nintendo. I mean, I'm sorry, not Nintendo. He likes Nintendo.
He almost
but he's-
made that mistake. He almost made that mistake.
Sega don't what Nintendo does.
That's right.
But he's a huge Sega fan, and I got a press release from Lavere, which is a shoe company. I don't know where they're located. I think England, because the price tag's in British pounds or something. But they are making.
Are you sure it's pounds and not euros?
No, they don't use euros over in England anymore.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I was like,
Right.
are you sure it's pounds and not euros? That's what I was making sure.
Oh yeah, it's pounds. You're right.
It's
yeah.
quid
Okay,
if you're
that-
Cockney, right, Timmy?
What?
Quid.
If you're
Couple quid?
Cockney,
Yeah,
if you're a
quid.
South Londoner.
So for the low price
And
of
sterling in
$276,
some places.
that's right. The low price of $276, you can own a pair of these Sega Mega Drive sneakers. They are very comfortable, according to the press release. There's an alternate version. They will also be selling hats, which are a lot less than the shoes, of course. But Jay, as the resident Sega master, would you like a pair of these sneakers?
They do look pretty cool. Are they made of leather? That's the next question. Are they made of leather? Or is it like canvas?
I probably would have to say canvas.
Okay. And over $200. So every time I step, does it say sucker?
No, it
I
doesn't.
know.
It does not. No.
Okay.
No,
Because I would be a little concerned
Hey.
about that.
And it
they're
doesn't
cool. They're cool
They
looking
have to be
shoes.
decent quality though to be $200 odd.
But here's the thing about shoes, like especially shoes like this. These are display shoes. These are shoes that people buy these shoes and they put them on shelves for a display. People don't wear these outside because as soon as they get a big piece of dirt on them, they're freaking out. So they're useless to me because I'm not a shoe collector. But if someone bought me a pair and I didn't have to spend my own money, damn, I'd wear them everywhere. Sure.
You hear that, chat?
It's actually
You hear
cool.
that? My PayPal is
So if someone buys you those shoes, you'll wear them all the time.
all the time. I'm a size 10, by the way.
Size 10.
Oh,
Which
I'll
means
reach
nothing,
out-
by the way.
I'll reach out to them to see if they'll give us a press copy and let you review them, Jay.
A press copy.
I'll see if they will. Yeah, I'll see if they will.
By
I type in the code and they just appear on my desk.
By the way, they're also selling a hat.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any pictures of the hat?
Yeah. Yes. It's on the link. I'll send it to you right now, Jay.
Oh, please
Yeah,
do.
I don't have the
Oh.
picture loaded into
Give me a
OBS. I
second.
should have thought of that, but
Give me a second, I'll do it.
You failed.
yeah, yes, that's your midway, Mama Rocks. That's your midway. He's not drinking a Fanta. He should be though. He likes Fanta. We know that now.
Just water.
Just water. After that long, exhausting football,
Uh,
huh? Just water.
Playing a wee bit at the
Just
footy
water.
there.
the hat is okay,
Yes.
but the hat is the British version. Here's the UK version.
Yeah,
Like
it
that
is.
version.
Genesis.
Yeah.
Venus have Genesis on it.
Yeah, it's Mega Drive, unfortunately, Jay.
That's okay. That's okay. Still cool. Still very
Hey,
cool.
I like the Mega Drive.
Yeah, the Mega Drive is pretty cool. I like
Yeah,
the
That's
vibe.
a-
The Mega Drive was underrated. I was like, but it also came out a little bit too early.
It is flip,
get-
guys, but I got the hat. That's what
Oh
the hat
no,
looks like.
it looks right on the screen. You
nice.
got it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
It's the I don't remember. Did Nintendo or Sega win that generation? I have a feeling it might have been Sega, but it's hard to remember.
I hate
The
to
Mega
tell you
Drive?
this.
What?
I think that was a generation that Sega technically won, but that was
Yeah.
before Nintendo made the 64, which is where they
Right,
dominated and steamrolled.
right.
So what? The Mega Drive beat the SNES.
I believe
Yeah.
it did. At least
I
in North
believe-
America, I believe it did.
It did in North America, but the SNES got popular right before the N64, and that was
Right.
basically when right before they transitioned into the Dreamcast, because the Dreamcast was their kind of, while it was a great thing, it was also their big like.
Oh no, you're
miss
forgetting the Sega Saturn.
Saturn.
Oh, the Saturn was the biggest mess up that they had before the Dreamcast,
Right.
and that's why the
I
Dreamcast
love the
didn't get.
Saturn.
Well,
That's my biggest-
the Saturn was liked by those who had it, but it wasn't mass. It wasn't
Right.
liked by everyone. So the Saturn was their big drop off, and then the Dreamcast was massively improved, but it didn't get enough traction after the Saturn. So no one really trusted Sega after that, and that's why everyone flocked to Nintendo with the N64 right before the launch of the PS1 a couple of years after.
Right. I still love my Dreamcast. I have a Dreamcast sitting right behind me.
Can we all agree though that Sega's problem was that they didn't commit? I felt like they were trying to get the biggest and baddest like quicker and quicker, and
They did.
It
They
just-
kept
it just
popping stuff
lost a
out.
fan base.
They were their issue was that they iterated too quickly and they didn't give enough support for one console. Like the Dreamcast was like their last big out, and that's where you see like everything that had a lot of what we do now, and it was innovative, but it came out too quickly after the drop of the
And
Saturn.
it came
because
with
they're like,
zero copy protection, so everyone just made their own discs.
yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Did you use
Yeah,
those
that
fun
was a
games
big
with them?
problem.
Like Crazy Taxi and the
Crazy Taxi.
the boxing game and
The
The box
Marvel
game. Of
versus
course.
Capcom.
Also everyone's favorite, Fishman. Everyone likes Fishman.
I still remember going
Or
to
Seaman.
the
Seaman. Yeah, that's what it was.
E-Man, yeah. I still remember going to the EB Games. It was the Electronics Boutique at the time, and seeing a PlayStation 2 and a Sega Dreamcast next to each other playing a similar game. And I always, even to this day, I still think that the Dreamcast looked better. It looked cleaner, didn't have as much jaggies. Just a better machine, in my opinion, altogether.
It really was. I was like, if you look at the Dreamcast and then look at what Microsoft did with the original Xbox, you see why a lot of the innovation that they put into the OG Xbox took a lot of inspiration from the Dreamcast. Not necessarily with just its style, but a lot of what they're trying to do. You think about how they were the first to do online. I was like, that's what Dreamcast was trying to do, and then what they later iterated in the 360 era with the DLC and downloadable content. That was something that Sega wanted to do back then on the Dreamcast, because that was one of the patents that they had in the works at that time.
I even had the broadband adapter for the Dreamcast, so you
Also,
can plug
they-
in your Ethernet port.
the good old
Ethernet cable
dial-up
right there.
internet.
Dial-up
I was on
internet.
This was
I think
after
I think I
dial-up.
was on 56K dial-up till about 2008.
Wow. How
But
did
Wow.
you
can we all-
survive?
I
I
mean,
was
he
an
was in the
outdoor
basement.
kid, man. I didn't really do any online gaming or anything like that. So
Can we also just all admit that, the Dreamcast had one of the coolest memory cards of all time, with the fact that you could take that out of the controller and sit there and still play on it?
Yeah, that was kind of neat. Gotta admit.
I would say that was cool, because the fact that it's just like, hey, guess what?
Yeah.
Even though you're not playing the game, it can still be used outside of the game and then add into it when you plug it back in.
Exactly.
When did the Game Gear come out? Was that around the same time as Mega Drive or before?
A little bit
or
after. A little bit
Yeah.
after. Yeah.
That was quite fun to play on.
Oh yeah. I was like, the Dreamcast was a great thing. I was like, I still remember. I was like, everyone was playing Mario Party on the N64. I liked the Sonic Party game so much better on the Dreamcast. So much more fun.
And when are they going to make another Power Stone?
That is the
No,
question.
Power-
I want Power Stone. I do
Like
want
seriously,
Power
that was
Stone.
one of the best brawler games. I believe it was the predecessor to Smash in a way. Think about it.
Yeah, I would say it was kind of similar at that time.
Mhm.
Actually, there is a rumor there will be a new Power Stone game there is a new Power Stone game in the works.
Who's their source?
Yeah, who's their source? It's not somebody named Flamish, is it?
Yeah, but what?
Well,
It's
it's by a
listed in the,
website. It's by a website called SegaBits.com.
So is
it
that
was
gonna
listed.
be-
It
what
was listed
console is that
in
gonna be
their
on?
It was listed in their in
Games of
the
Work
forecast once they got hacked, and they had the list of all the games they had
In the works.
for
yeah.
in planning to release and the dates and etc.
Game would
yeah.
normally be coming out in 2024 somewhere.
that
Well,
gonna
if
be on
it
the
does
Switch
come
or
out,
on a
that'd be pretty
console?
cool.
I mean, I'm
just-
looking forward to it.
Yeah, like that fighting style, and imagine having it like a Smash where they could bring on other characters from other franchises and have them battle it out. Because
I mean, you think alone of just Sega's catalog, right?
well,
Like, we
Sega
already
has
talked
has
about-
a huge catalog itself, but the way
I
Smash
know.
did it, Smash was boring from everybody.
From
And-
everyone now.
And think
Yeah.
about that fighting style from Power Stone, where it's a 3D world. You can move in 360 degrees, not just like Smash, where it's more like a 3D plane, like a 2D plane. That would be
Yeah.
wild. It'd be exciting.
It definitely would be. It would definitely be interesting to see that, because that would be pretty dope to actually kind of see how that would play out, right?
Mhm.
But what would they have it on though? Just Switch? Would they put it onto other consoles and PC as well?
No, it's gonna. It more than likely will be multi-platform. If you remember, I talked about this quite some time ago. I think it was about a year that Sega had made a statement during one of their financial reports with all of their investors during an investors call. That's what it is. That they stated that they've seen so much growth and success with porting a lot of their older titles to other platforms that they're no longer going to do exclusivity or anything like that. That they're going to focus on being a multi-platform publisher. And
Tell
that
Atlas that.
Well, Atlas is the big kind of holdback. But even during this last financial meeting back in May, they stated that they want to make all their games global brands, and they want to do simultaneous global releases and launches at the same time. So they want to start focusing on pushing that multi-platform non-exclusivity. I already know about Atlas, especially when you think about Shin Megami Tensei 5 coming out this year on the Switch only and stuff like that. But yeah, Atlas has a bad habit
and
of
3
releasing-
remake. And 3
Yeah, I know.
remake.
And Nocturne 3 remake, yeah, I would say. But
Yep.
the fact is, Atlas is probably one of the most notorious developers under the Sega umbrella that is known for focusing on one platform and then maybe occasionally doing others or having other studios help with porting their games. And you think
you
right
think
now
it-
that Atlas has 7 games in the works alone, or like 10 different projects.
Do you think they're looking at that Steam Deck and going, "Oh yeah"?
I
can see
think
them
that they're
totally.
interested.
Oh, I think they are too.
I think
Especially
Microsoft
with,
is looking
like-
at that Steam Deck and going, "Thank God we don't have to develop a mobile device now."
You know, they said
Well,
that
yeah.
it was 1.6. What was it? 1.6 teraflops. That Steam Deck is more powerful than the Xbox One Fat and One S. So they are probably like, yeah, we got to figure out how to get Game Pass up on there. So
Wait,
Won't
what
be
was
hard.
what was the specs on
they
it?
said the Steam Deck was 1.6 teraflops of GPU power.
Because I know that the One X was 6 teraflops.
No, the one Fat, the original Xbox One.
Oh yeah,
And the One
the
S.
original.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
and then
those
the
two,
One S.
obviously.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
I already
That
have
makes sense.
I already have cloud gaming and Game Pass on my Oculus, so they can put it on this for sure.
I mean, I already have Game Pass on my telefono over here. I was like, so
Mhm.
I don't need much. I don't need to invest on basically another mobile computer that I already have in my pocket.
Well, I don't know if you guys know this, right? But a company called Peloton, who makes those exercise bikes that connect online
Yep.
so you can take fitness classes, is going into the gaming business. Did you guys
Crazy.
know about that?
I did hear about that.
It's quite interesting to see what sort of
So
games they make.
so real quick though, are those Peloton bikes gonna be marked down to $300 in price? Because they better be.
You know, I
And
honestly
you get
don't-
it free with a copy of Descenders or something to
You
play.
want to play
while you do-
games? Here's a $800 to $1,200 bike. You know, that's not very enticing.
No, but on the screen is a beta screenshot, courtesy of Peloton. You know, I forgot the name of this game, but it reminds me of Tron, and this is what it is. It's this little screenshot. This is one of their games that they're thinking about. Could change before final release, but as you're exercising, you know, you got some Tron vibes there. Probably music. You know, it's not going to convince me to get a Peloton. I'm not going to spend the money on one for this. I would just get a regular old exercise bike if I wanted one, or a real bike to go outside with. But any thoughts from anyone on the panel, Potato included, who can't use a Peloton bike right now? Feel free just to, you know. Jay, would you get a Peloton for this Tron-looking game?
Not even remotely. Throughout the years, I've purchased exercise bikes and treadmills, and even though my kids still use them to this day, no, it's not for that, in my opinion. When my kids go down there, you know what they do? They put their phone on the treadmill. They watch a show on their phone, and they're on the treadmill for like a half hour. So
That's
no, this would be
ingenious.
useless.
That's ingenious.
You know what's even more ingenious? I say, you've got an iPad. Why aren't you using your iPad? Because it's a bigger screen. My kids know they want to use their phones. Don't ask me. Kids are
Makes a good
strange.
point.
Do I look like I do cardio?
So,
He-
by
he
the way,
just-
I'm good.
clowns, the
But-
game is called Lane Break.
Lane break.
Lane break.
Thank you for the
Lane break.
Thank you for looking
But I
that
could
up.
see a lot of games like you could do driving games. What was that one game with the music? It was called like Arrow, AERO or something like that. Like
Yeah,
like you
Arrow.
could, yeah. I mean, you could do a lot of stuff like that, but I don't see anybody ever playing like anything.
You know
You know,
what would
shooting
sell, guys?
Racing
You
games
know-
on there, you know, like where you race.
Yeah,
other
racing
bikes and
games.
stuff.
No, you know
Bring
what
back-
would sell?
Bring back
Think
Cruising
about-
USA for it.
No, think about this.
Tour de
okay?
France. You could have that.
You
on
guys all remember what was the game on the Sega Genesis, the motorcycle game where you can hit people with chains
Road
and
Rash.
Road
stuff?
Rage.
Road Rash. Okay, Road Rash. So imagine this. It's you're on your Peloton or whatever it's called, the bicycle thing. You have your screen and you're biking, and you're biking through like the city streets. And if you actually kick to the right, you're kicking people on the screen and you're knocking people off their bikes and stuff. That would be amazing.
That'd be kind of fun.
That'd be
Damn
funny.
right it would be. I'd have a great
I'd
time.
probably punching, you know, left and right.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You could kick and you can punch. It has some kind of motion sensor because we all know motion sensors can be done with phones now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
they
what
can
that
do all
reminds me
that.
of?
Really.
I would say I know that you could do that on like in like the GTA games when you're like riding on the bicycle. How when you're riding by someone you could like punch them on the side. You'll just like lean over. And same with like they added like the melee weapons that you could use. So it'd be interesting to actually have a sensor to do that for the Peloton. I think it's interesting. To me, it feels like another just gimmick, but a very interesting kind of way to integrate exercise with gaming, because we kind of seen that a lot more companies are finding ways to use games or other hardware as ways to kind of get people to start being a little bit more active. Look at like with the rise of VR headsets, right? One of the biggest games that a lot of people talk about being great for working out is Beat Saber. Beat
Right.
Saber has absolutely been very big and very popular, and it's that rhythm style music based game, but it's all in VR, and a lot of people find it as a great way to exercise and game at the same time. So I think what Peloton is kind of doing is very similar to that. If they can make it stand out more is the question, but I think it's an interesting take. It's just what more are they gonna do, and especially since they're doing it all based around their exercise equipment of a bike, it's going to be a little limited on what they do unless they're able to really think outside of the box.
Right.
I think
I'm
that might be
kinda
like
curious
a
if-
Tour de France type game, isn't it? So something like that would be.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Like,
curious if they can engage, if they can track engagement on their bikes with their interfaces and stuff like that. I'm kind of curious about that. I just know that I do muster up the willpower to do cardio. I'm like, all right, let me watch an episode of something on my phone. I know that when that episode's over, 30, 40 minutes, my cardio's over and I don't have to watch a clock the whole time. So I know, and that's, by the way, that's like really like depressing. I feel like the clock goes slower on cardio than like in real life, right? So I know, like, I feel like this would definitely be a good, as I go 16 years old, this will definitely be a good, what's the word I'm looking for? Distraction. Like, I think they want to create more content to, instead of just some guy going, all right, let's go biker. Like, they don't even know your name. So, I mean, it's,
Are
so
you, Midway,
Step it up, let's go.
Midway, are you questioning if a technology company can track their customers? Really?
I'm not questioning. I'm just assuming, but I don't know how they are. I don't know. I don't have Peloton, specs in front of me, so I don't know what they can do or how they can track it or something like that. But,
Well, literally, they have a game called Lane Break. They probably use a game to get data
I'm sure
from
there's
the
got to be
user.
some type of Wi-Fi connected to the bike. So
yeah, probably.
yeah. So I mean, this will be a good. I mean, not just hey, they're using another avenue to keep people on the bike.
Yeah.
I mean, that maybe this will be a good way forward for younger Peloton owners. But yeah, I'm for it.
Yeah, and what I want to say, like, you have the Ring Fit Adventures on the Switch, right? This is just another medium that's coming out that takes somewhat the same approach of moving to game, basically. And I think it's a smart move in this time that people do this kind of stuff or keep you moving while all this stuff is going on outside of the house and in the world and stuff. I think this is a smart move, a good business move overall, and it could get traction for sure. There are, I don't know, but I think the treadmill, when it came out and it was in like everyone's home at a certain point, so this could be somewhat the same thing.
I mean, to kind of add on there, Flamish, think about, you mentioned what the Switch has done with like the Ring Fit and all the games kind of with that. Think about what Xbox did with the Kinect back in the 360 and at the start of the Xbox One era. They had all those Kinect adventures and all those different exercise, like the Kinect Sports that they did, both two different iterations back on the 360 era, and then a new version that they did on the Xbox One. So I mean, he's right. It's interesting that more companies are kind of getting into this as ways to kind of make that engagement again and kind of give people more to do. And like I said, a way to just kind of get everyone active after everything that's been going on.
PK or Timmy, you guys gonna ride out on the Steel Lightning over there with this Peloton?
PK says,
it'd be too expensive to, but if you have a try of it somewhere, it'd be quite fun to see what it's like.
I mean,
I'm always skeptic until I see things in action. That's my thing. I like to wait and see unless I know ahead of time exactly what to expect.
Okay, that's fair. Speaking of,
you could have like a demo of it.
Yeah, I don't know how they would do a demo of it unless you have a Peloton bike now and they just send you a demo of it. But if they do track,
like in a gym or something where like they have like a thing in a gym where you can try it out, or in a shop or something
they have stores,
like
that.
Or yeah, I was about to say, I think they're sold even at like Best Buys and stuff like that. So they may have like those showcases and stuff for their people to check them out.
If they don't have their own stores, yeah, they definitely have what do you call it, relationships with.
Yeah, relationships. Malls probably will have demos because they're always doing those kinds of things at malls all the time. So
yeah.
Little kids hopping on this thing when their parents aren't looking.
Probably.
It's shiny. But like, imagine if they do track the user data, like Midway was saying. Like, what would they do? Would they upsell you? Like, hey, congratulations, you've completed your 100 milestone. Here's $2 towards a new music track. Like, what kind of microtransactions could they do?
They gotta have a
Congratulations on
rewards
not
program.
being fat. Here's a cookie.
I was
No,
going
they-
to say that they gotta. Here's a cookie, internet cookie.
Exactly.
They actually have
Uh,
DLC. You can actually buy DLC for treadmills now that have different kinds of routes that you can go on and different kinds of inclines and just
Oh yeah.
I don't know
all
what they
those,
call them, but they call them different like exercise sets. You
They're
buy those
programs.
separately too.
Yeah. I say
Wait a
because I know
minute.
that they're. Yeah. I know what he's talking about because I think even with like Peloton, they have it to where you can get like digital programs of like different workouts, especially for like all those spin classes. I know that there's different packages that you can get that have different exercise
Trail
routines
riding.
with those. Yeah. So I think I get where he's coming from on that. And I mean, that makes sense too.
See, where I used to work at, we had like our former employer had their own gym, right? So they had like tons of treadmills, and every treadmill had various hills, steeps, whatever. You can like program it, and it would do it. And it wasn't like DLC or a programmable card. It just came with the machine. Are you telling me that they're changing things these days to
Oh man, yeah.
upcharge
You
for
can
this?
you can go to your
Yes.
computer, download the programs onto your memory stick, plug it into the treadmills, and upload your programs that way.
Yep.
Anything with a screen on it. Obviously, if it's just a digital only thing, it's not gonna I mean, it might give you the whatchamacallit, the track, but like if you have a screen and it's supposed to show like where you're riding, because you see in commercials all the time, like when they're doing trail riding, you're actually seeing it looks like a first person view of you riding the trail.
Right on the trail. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's probably got to be, there's got to be some sort of compatibility where it can work on, but yeah.
That's crazy. I my mind's blown right now. Now I got to go look this up later after the podcast and see like how much purchasable DLC
I mean-
stuff there is.
We're just talking about Peloton. What about that mirror, workout mirror? You seen that?
Yes.
Workout mirror.
Like like it looks like someone's training you right in front of you on a mirror, and you can see yourself. When are they gonna start? I don't know who makes that, but
Oh, they
Well, yeah, I
parodied
mean-
that on Saturday Night Live one time. They did a skit about it. It was hilarious.
I could see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it was funny as hell.
Yeah.
And apparently,
I needed-
the
But yeah,
person
like-
behind the mirror was the devil.
Wow.
Hey, just imagine
Oh.
on the bike, on the Peloton bike, you get these games, but then if you get the mirror, you get some VR sticks or something. You know, like things are coming to a head. It's starting to reach into many facets of life now.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, but that mirror is not for the normal it's like $1,500 for the mirror. What I'm
That's
seeing
what I'm
is-
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like the
That's one
Peloton ain't
expensive
exactly. The Peloton bikes aren't exactly, I'm like thinking like really, really off right now, but
Yeah,
it's
they're not
exactly
budgeted for
it's-
every family.
exactly. Thank you. It's not budgeted for,
Just
the little
anyone.
people,
Yeah.
right? Pretty much, right? I mean, so yeah, so like these Peloton bikes, they probably go
They're-
for like $800 to over $1,000. So I mean,
I think they are 800.
Could be.
it's more. Yeah. So I mean,
It would be cool if if you can use it for, there's a game that they sell in Europe that's very popular here, I think. It's called Le Tour de France. It comes out like almost every year.
Nike crackers. I was like, it's even more than what we thought. For a
What is it?
basic Peloton, the one that they sell, $2,000.
wow.
Okay.
Yeah. I was say apparently
If
you
your
can get it for you can get it for financing for $50
Yeah, I was
a
thinking
month.
Maybe-
$800 was cheap.
Maybe it's good for fitness stations and stuff to keep people a little
If
bit
you-
more exciting while doing the bike rides.
Oh yeah. But I mean,
It'll
to
be
be fair,
hilarious. It's like, hey, if you want to get this bike just to play games, you might as well get a high-end PC.
yeah,
Like-
right.
Get the Steam Deck.
Oh, man.
Right?
Just get yourself an Oculus Quest. You're good. I was like, go work out in VR.
How
But-
wrong would it be for me to like come up with a 3D print of an add-on for the Peloton bikes where you could put like a candy dish, you know, and sell it like a candy console on the bike somewhere? You know, somebody would buy it. Flamish, Flamish.
Yes.
The Snoop Kiss bike.
But
Yes.
Jeepers makes a good point in the chat. He said that people dish out big bucks for workout equipment, and
Yeah.
you think that the workout and like fitness industry is one of the most lucrative industries.
Mhm.
Like people talk about the money that like gaming and other industries make. I was like, it's nowhere near how lucrative that fitness is. You think about from supplements to energy drinks or powders and stuff like that for protein. Also the fact of just the equipment itself, whether you have people who want to do biking, you have people who want to do free weights or have their own actual like weight machine at their house. Like there's a lot that the fitness industry sells, and they make big money off of it because
They make
everyone
bank,
wants
yeah.
to be fit. Yeah. I was like, it's so much more than people give it credit for. And that's why you look at this equipment and see just how expensive it is, and why you see that everything is financed. Because like looking at this alone for the Peloton, it's $50 a month, but you're locked in for 3.5 years for this $2,000 bike.
Wow.
You can
Yeah.
play one game.
I mean,
Yeah, it's all to play one game.
if you've seen a commercial for these Pelotons, I mean, they're kind of catering to a certain what's the word,
Demographic?
economic
Demographic.
demographic. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, you see these Pelotons with the nice wood floors, the open windows, you know, like this isn't in the ghetto, you know, like this isn't
You're right.
in, you know,
It's for
a
rich
hard
people.
school. Exactly. I just wanted to ease around it, but you know, Bloody Nuts just punched right through it. So,
My,
but
my
yeah, I mean,
sister has one.
But
and
also,
what's I don't know your sister, Clown. So tell me, what's
He
her
doesn't know her financial situation.
What's her-
I d-
What's her financial situation and her social security number?
I
No,
like
I
how
mean, in all honesty though, my sister is she's a very healthy person. Like she likes like the yoga stuff, walking on the beach, exercising on the beach. I think she's even got one of those exercise mirrors. Her husband is a partner in a telecommunications company, is part owner.
boom?
And then
Sorry, boom. You just
she-
proved my point, Clowns.
She's a former executive for Verizon who left this lofty, lucrative job just to cook food. She wants to go work for the food industry and become a chef. And he works
Now,
hard.
again-
and she just cooks food.
Right. So like now again, obviously, you know, hey, you worked hard, you made your money, you want to be as healthy as possible to make it as long as possible, right? So they're going to start spending money on their body. Russell Wilson, the Seattle Seahawks quarterback, spends over $1 million on his body, right?
Wow.
Because he has to. He has to keep that lifestyle. So that's what this is all about. It's all about the lifestyle.
Yeah, like
There's
if your
something else.
body is your money maker, then of course you're going to spend money on it.
Right.
You know.
It's a very selfish thing, you know. Working out is very selfish. You're working on yourself, you know. So I mean, it's
Wow.
not. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's like, hey, you know, I got to get my gym time in. You know, like everyone, you know, every person. If you go to a gym, you see the same people at the same time every day because that is their routine, and it becomes routine.
Yeah, I like to exercise too. I exercise my mind on video games a lot.
There you
And,
go.
I exercise my brain and my fingers. That's all I need. I was like, I got that finger strength, got that grip strength.
Curls for the girls.
and
Girls for the girls.
the last thing I want to say, like when there are actually a lot of bikes out these days where you can put like your tablet on and you can actually bike around on like a beach or something like that. But I just saw online as well. So there is some market for it. Apparently, people are buying stuff like that. But yeah, it's not for every person, I guess.
It's not for everyone. But like you said with the financing, everything with finance, even the Xbox All Access, you got to have good credit in order to get financed. So
Yep.
if you have good credit, go. You'll get it. To me, $50 for 3 years, I don't mind having a monthly payment for something that I know I'm going to use.
Yeah,
So
that's the point.
Exactly.
Right. So I mean, we all have cars, right? I mean, well, most of us. So, but yeah, just hey, we're not saying that hey, only the rich people can do this. If you have good credit and you want to get healthy and you want to play a game while you're doing it, Peloton is for you. Exactly.
I think that's the takeaway with anything is that if this is something that, especially whenever you're looking at financing, right? If it's something you want to do and it's something that you're serious about, there's a way to do it, and just make sure that you're committed to it, because if not, it's something that's really hard to get out of when you're locked in, especially for something that's as pricey an item as that. So that's where it comes down to, is that if you're serious about it, there's a way to do it, and there's a way for you to get something or be able to do more than just, hey, not everyone is just comfortable sitting on a bike for an hour or 30 minutes, even just listening to music, because they're just like, oh, this is driving me insane, just kind of sitting here. At least there's a way to do more with it. And I think that's kind of the interesting thing.
Yep.
Like I said earlier.
I think we just sold a Peloton. So Peloton, if you're listening, could you please send us some free ones?
Yes,
Yeah.
with the Mega Drive sneakers. With the Mega Drive sneakers, we got to test out how fast they run, because I want to be like Sonic the Hedgehog on the Peloton machine. And I just want to go. You know what I mean? Once those sneakers are on, I want to.
I mean, I am okay with the Mega Drive hat. I was like, everyone knows I wear nothing but hats, so I'm just saying, I'll take the hat. Then no one else wants it.
Is Peloton public? Is Peloton a public trading company?
I think they are.
I think
should
they
start buying
went
stocks.
public,
I think they did.
and I think their
start buying
stocks
stocks.
plummeted when they went public.
Well, I guess we can find out.
Went public on September 26, 2029. 2019, sorry. Yeah.
So
the-
2029, that's a bit advanced.
And how much a
Damn.
share are they? Because I feel like buying some shares, because this game is going to take off. I'm telling you.
Let's get fit.
Let's
Well,
sweat.
Here's the opposite
Sweat, baby,
of getting
sweat.
fit if you do this all day.
Ooh.
And this would be Netflix gaming, right? I mean, they're not going to raise the price. They will not raise the price, and you can
For now.
I'll believe it when I see it.
They're going to
For
start
now.
with mobile games. Mobile games.
Oh
Everybody
my God.
excited? Everybody excited for this? You guys excited?
Whoa, yeah, woo, Netflix.
Jay?
Can you play the game? Can you play the games? Can you play the games in airplane mode?
That's a good question.
Where's the potato? Shit.
Wouldn't
'Cause what do they say when hey, you're in airplane mode, download Netflix movies, download them so you have them to watch, right? So is this going to be streaming or just download it and streaming, or is it just?
I don't know.
We don't know
I don't
yet.
know about you guys, but every night when I go to bed, me and the wife, we watch Netflix. Right now we're watching Lucifer, okay, because it's on Netflix. We never watched it before. She always falls asleep halfway through the show, so we never get through a full show. Now, when she falls asleep, and I could pull out my gamepad and then turn Netflix from Lucifer to, say, Grand Theft Auto or some kind of Halo or shooter game, I'm going to do that.
Well, first it's like mobile games, so it's going to be like what?
Oh, I don't want to
Did they
play
give-
Candy Crush.
It's gonna be the games where you have like commercials going on all the time, like they always do with every game these
Microtransactions.
days. Microtransactions, all that good stuff that phone games are known for. It's probably gonna be the same. If it's not the same, I will be surprised. But I'm not excited, no.
So you think
Yeah.
they'll have like those games included in your like Netflix membership, or do you think there'd be some you have?
I
to
mean
pay for?
that they may be doing exactly what Microsoft is doing, is adding more value to a subscription. So maybe their numbers are going down and they realize we have to add more value. So that's why they're getting into gaming. Maybe the prices won't go up right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, right
I don't
away.
know. I don't know why mobile gaming of all things, if they're gonna make that type of investment. It seems like a lot of money to push into mobile games unless they're gonna do freemium games where there's a lot of microtransactions, and which is why the price won't go up on Netflix because they know that people are gonna buy into these transactions. And I mean, let's face it. There's a lot of kids that watch Netflix in people's households, and what if there's no account lock right away or something? Imagine that. I mean, hey, Dad, I just spent $30,000 on Subway Surfers. Imagine something like that.
Well, I could have sworn that someone said that they have a partnership with Sony and they found embedded in their code Ghost of Tsushima on Netflix site,
They
like one
did.
of the
They
flags.
they did, and that's still a rumor. They won't really confirm that 100%, but they did come out today or yesterday and say that they're going towards mobile gaming and that the first games will be mobile games.
I actually got a little bit more information as well. So it's gonna be part of your monthly Netflix subscribing thing.
Subscription.
Yeah, subscription, sorry. They also think about external games as productions out of their own house. The first games will have a link with a movie or series. They will look at the numbers after they release and see what direction they need to go. And it has to be they had a success story with Black Mirror when that came out like a couple of years ago in 2018. Apparently was a great success, and that's what they're going for a little bit, like interactive movies as well. That's something they also want to work on, apparently.
Well, I
Okay.
think they'd make a killing on the interactive type of game where it's like live action. Like I said the last week with Late Shift. Like I think they could have a lot of fun with that. I mean, obviously Netflix has to get their pound, right? So there's probably going to be third party, and they'll get their 30% or whatever. So that's probably what's helping keep the rates from going up. But is this going to be every tier gets the gaming option, or is it going to be a certain, because they got the 4K tier, the HD tier, and then the standard tier, right? So they got like 3 tiers. Now, are all of these gonna have the gaming option, or is it gonna be a specific one?
I think that's kind of the big thing right there, is that because you look at anything that offers streaming, even right now, let's use one of the biggest examples with Xbox Game Pass, right? With the cloud streaming or X Cloud, right? That's only available in the $15 Game Pass Ultimate version, not the $10 Game Pass, whether you're using it on console and not on the. I think it's still $5, or is it bumped up to 10 on PC as well? That doesn't cover the X Cloud, and even with being able to stream on all the other devices, whether it's through the website or even on your mobile. So he brings up a good point on which of the subscription packages or levels, tiers, whatever you want to call it, that is this going to be included in to justify the price. I was like, because if it's in everything, if it's in all of their subscriptions, I guarantee, because we've seen Netflix do it, is that they wait a year or 2 years and then they bump it up a couple dollars. So more than likely, we're going to see the price go up again. I think right now it's at 15 for even the lowest one. So that can jump up to $17.50, $20. And then it only goes up from there, knowing kind of Netflix's model and what they've done. So I think that's another big thing to take into account with them kind of extending into this medium and everything.
Well, they are promising that there will be that they will not make the cost higher. They will.
Netflix has always promised that, and they still do it anyway, and everyone just accepts it. No.
Hey, just
I
what
know-
they say. I'm just reading the paper here.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. I was like, they always say that, and they never do that. They always raise it because everyone's just like, yay, they're not raising the price. And then when everyone forgets about it, they raise the price, and then everyone's like, hey, that's not right. They're like, no, no, no. See all the new shiny things we got? They're like, oh yeah. They're like, ha ha ha, got ya, suckers. It's what Netflix does.
I just feel like they're raising their prices a lot quicker than anybody else.
They are.
True.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
They really are. It's turned around a lot faster recently.
I think they were also in a lot of trouble at that time, and that's maybe why they raised the price a little bit. But
That's not our problem. That's their problem.
yeah,
that is their
but
problem.
it's something they decide to do. I mean, yeah, but okay.
You guys think that there's any kind of correlation between the Netflix shows that are related to video games and this whole gaming acquisition, or not gaming acquisition, but this gaming forefront that they're going to start going forward with? Because they already have what? They have
No.
Witcher, they have Castlevania, they have Resident Evil. Think
So,
about these things.
I
Jay,
would be
what
curious.
they
Go ahead. Flash.
sorry, what they stated in the article that I've read is that they go by because they have to grow the company, and apparently with all the series and all the movies that's going on, the growth is not going that big anymore. They're looking for other mediums, and gaming seems to be like one of the biggest things, of course, except for movies and series. So they're going
So
for
they
that medium
plateaued.
a little bit. That's what they're saying.
So I'd be curious because didn't Game Pass have the Stranger Things game in it for a little
Yeah,
bit?
they
I don't know if it still does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
But I would like to. Yeah, I would like to see what the numbers were on that. If this is what encouraged them to move forward with it.
I definitely see that. We'll probably see them as they kind of get into gaming. I think they're still going to have the streaming on their own platform included, but kind of like as you brought up with the fact that they help kind of publish the Stranger Things arcade game that we saw on Xbox, and I believe it was also on PlayStation Network and a couple other places as well.
I played it a little. It wasn't
I
bad.
still I kind of checked it out a little bit. I was like, it's definitely an enjoyable little thing for what it was. I definitely think that they kind of see the fact that there's potential with it. Obviously, we know that gaming is growing exponentially and is still raking money hand over fist on a lot and for a lot of different things. So I definitely think that they will still continue to at least get it focus on using their properties, because you look at where Netflix is making their money now is the fact that they've expanded into original content now. They used to, stream everyone else's stuff, but now that they have their own very big, successful original content series with like Stranger Things, or most recently, you look at some of their other originals. We saw that what they did with Castlevania. We know that right now that they've put out the Fear Street movies and stuff like that. The fact is now that they have all these original content, that if they use some of those as kind of bases for any of their games or anything like that, that kind of helps to use something that they were able to establish and publish and even be able to put it out on multiple platforms, but still focus it around their core demographic and their platform and where they are, and be able to kind of make more money while keeping what they already have without putting it too much of an extra cost to them. It just goes into, if they're going to go into this properly, we've seen what happened with Amazon and what's going on with Google, right? Trying to break out into gaming, and they have much more money than what Netflix has. And we saw how quickly they fell out of gaming because they tried to do it too quickly. Google shut down all their first-party studios and Stadia's DOA. And Amazon has tried to do 3 different projects from their first-party studio. 2 of them they already canceled, and we're already seeing what's kind of going on with New World, with how everyone feels about that as an MMO for their first project, and it's not looking good for them. And Luna is a joke just as much as Stadia is. So the thing is, if Netflix does it, they have to go with the right mindset and take the time to invest in this properly, because it's not something you can do within a year or 2 years. It's something that's going to take a couple years to get going right. which we know that they did when they were the first kind of pioneers of streaming, right? They did the DVDs to home, and then they were the first one to say, hey, look, we want to do streaming. And everyone's just like, streaming directly from our homes? That's stupid. And then now look, 10 years later, so it's literally what everyone does. So
Yeah, just ask Blockbuster how streaming goes.
yeah, exactly. And everyone was still like, we'll just keep doing DVDs to our home. And Netflix is like, no, we think we have something here. And everyone's just like, you're stupid. And look at who was stupid then, and not Netflix. But if they go with that same mindset into gaming like they did with trying to go from a physical medium, from DVDs to streaming, I think they could actually do something fairly decent and well for themselves in this market. That's just my take on it, though.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious. I mean, I just think that them coming out saying mobile gaming wasn't. I don't think they were prepared. I think they just want to jump in the market.
Like you said, yeah, they want to jump in the market, but also mobile gaming is probably the easiest games to push out.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
easiest to develop.
Yeah,
It
so
really
is.
like you said with Stadia, getting their own studios and thinking that games will be ready in less than a year is ludicrous. That's why I think Netflix looked at what Stadia did. They said, "Yep, that's wrong." Luna, they're hanging in there, but they were cheaper, so let's just say no added cost to your Netflix subscription, and we'll just push out these mobile games, because most people also watch Netflix on their phone when they're traveling, right? So they're just So I mean, I think they put some thought behind this. We'll just see how it goes, because as Stadia has seen and how Luna is, we're married to our boxes. We're homers. We have a home team, and sometimes when it's uncharted territory, especially for those that, hey, I just plug and play, I don't want to get a PC for this. Let's see how it goes. That's why I think the mobile part is kind of, I think it's a good road to go down. Yeah. And for those games that they partner with getting on, they're going to get their 30% for putting it on, and then they're going to get their microtransaction percentage. I mean, they're trying to create money for the platform, and so we'll see what happens. Time will tell.
Exactly.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I want to go into the next topic here, and I'm not sure if Jay's even excited for this one, because I know he doesn't like topics really. But
this show has topics? I'm out.
no, there's no topics. We're talking about Infinite, and he failed to appear.
I've already shunned him in the.
Oh yeah, he's going in the box of shame. Infinite, if you're listening, next Retro Renegades, you're putting yourself in the box of shame.
You know it's bad when they have to call me in to replace somebody.
Yeah.
Think about that.
We have to call him the big boss.
Man.
Right?
The guy who hates topics, the guy who can't form a sentence and sound intelligent, but they call me in. Yeah, think about that.
Have you heard me talk today? I heard you laugh, PK.
Is he there? Is he still there?
He's
PK
there. His mic is muted, but we can still hear him laughing.
Okay. just want to make sure that he's okay. So, I mean, Psychonauts 2 is coming out very soon. Day and date and Game Pass for all of us who have Game Pass. And I think everybody on this panel has Game Pass. Timmy in Australia, do you guys have Game Pass Ultimate? Is that a yes?
I think they
yes?
do in Australia. I'm not sure. I assume they do, but
in England?
yes, we do in England.
Okay. So August 25th it comes out. I think this looks really good. You know, I did not like Psychonauts 1 on the OG Xbox. Like
Did you play it? I mean, meaning did you play it throughout, or did you start playing it, didn't like it, and stop playing it?
I got lost in the first 30 minutes. So I was like, oh, I'm out of this thing. I was like, I'm not playing it. But this one looks, I mean, it really looks amazing. The art style, the graphics, the plot. It looks like it's actually got a story to it. The first one, I thought it was just people that are drinking cactus juice or something. But this looks cool. I'm not gonna lie. I really want to play this.
I don't know, man. I don't know if you're allowed to be excited for this because it doesn't look as good as some other games. You know, they say that only games are good when the graphics are amazing. Remember that.
Oh yeah, when it's photorealistic.
Exactly.
Or it
There
looks
better
like
be mocap in
a
this.
Pixar anime.
I forgot we're not allowed to have unique art styles anymore.
That's right.
For due to words of certain people.
Yeah.
By the way, if people don't know, this game looks like Psychonaut just turned up to 11, like it should be. And what can people complain about? It's just more Psychonauts. Come on. Okay, what's not to like about it?
It's called Psychonauts. It's meant to be like a sort of trip, in it. It's like a sort of, you go into people's minds and stuff like that. So it's like a sort of mind trick sort of game.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what it's meant to look like. And when
It is.
people go mind trips, it looks crazy. It doesn't look photorealistic or it looks
Exactly.
crazy.
But
It's
it's also a Double Fine game, right? And
Yeah,
if
Double Fine.
if you don't get Double Fine, then you don't like this game anyway. But if you've liked the things that Double Fine have done in the past, you're gonna like this game.
So not to put anybody on the spot, because I'm like all new to the whole recognizing developer business and all that stuff. So other than Psychonauts, the 1 and 2, what other games has Double Fine? What, Trials, right? Did they do Trials?
Nope. So Double Fine
No.
has created both the Psychonauts games. They did Rock of Ages. They also did Brutal Legend. They have also created the arcade game Stacking, which was one of their big ones that they've done, as well as they also did Costume Quest.
And what was the old one they did? That was there was a really older game.
Grim Fandango.
80s?
Grim Fandango.
Grim Fandango. Yeah.
There you go.
And they also
So-
did Rad that came out like a year ago. That was awesome for.
Oh yeah,
roguelike.
Rad is awesome.
I'm
Rad-
so glad
Rad is
that Bloody
absolutely-
was here. The
Well,
encyclopedia was here.
Yeah. The Bloodypedia. Yeah, that's right.
Help me understand something. How is it okay to like Ratchet and Clank, but not like Psychonauts?
Because
Wait.
it's PlayStation.
What?
Because
people-
it's dumb. I was like, that's what it is. I was like, the thing is, Jay brings up a
It's
very
not-
good.
It's not like and not hating on people who like Ratchet and Clank, but let's be honest, it's generic and corny humor when, at least in the Psychonauts, it's kind of thoughtful and, in many different ways. It's like written comedy, right? It's not just generic, what's the word when they use the same trope over and over?
PK, I have a
Oh.
question for you. Are
Yeah.
you hangry right now?
Why you ask me?
Because it sounds like you're not a big fan of Ratchet and Clank.
Well, after my PlayStation 8, my last one, I'm not a big fan of it, but it's not that I have a problem with it in general. It's just that it's nothing special about it. I play platformers, I play 3D games my whole life. That's my jam. And there's some that are highlights, like that will always have moments where it transcended something, like Mario 64. And then you just have something that just does copy and paste, like Ratchet and Clank. And I'm sorry, that's just my point of view on it. And I play these games. I play lots of them. I sit here and I play them on the hardest difficulty just because I enjoy them that much. But I'm not trying to look. If you guys like it, it's fine. I was just saying, like, why is it always controversial to like something like Psychonauts 2, and I'm not, and honestly, I didn't ever play part 1. I just watched somebody play it. I never played it myself, but I watched somebody play it. And part of the thing that does attract me a little bit is going back to that old school way of playing games where it doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't do everything for you. Not to say that it's hard. It's just that it wants the purpose of the game is for you to explore and try stuff on your own, to give you that flexibility to explore as if you are that character and you dealing with these things. Okay, not having markers or here's a quest right here. No, go talk to that person. Then you'll find out there's a quest there, right? That's how Mass Effect used to do it. I mean, there's a lot of to me, there's a lot of old things about it that attracts me. The humor, the character, interactions, the voice actors, right? I'm just saying and it's not that I'm not saying that Ratchet and Clank is a bad game. I'm just saying that it plays it safe. It does the same thing over and over. Here you got a game that takes chances. So I feel like we should appreciate that kind of creativity.
You shouldn't have to compare the two, and you shouldn't have to choose the two. You can like both. I mean, it's
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you couldn't, but I'm saying it seems to me,
it's
and
the
I'm not
Twitter
saying
trolls. It's the PlayStation Twitter trolls that just up their narrative and just try to keep things, keep us battling with each other, and it's ridiculous and stupid.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like it has nothing to do with Ratchet and Clank per se. It's more or less, is it okay to be like this? It's not something to do with
PK. You kind of
I
broke up there for a second.
Yeah, you kind of broke up.
I was just saying that. I was just saying, if you hear me, I was just saying that why is it true? You didn't celebrate this,
PK.
but you.
Yeah, you're botting PK.
Yeah,
pretty badly.
Well, PK, I kind of want to answer what you're saying. Like, what Midway said is you really don't need to compare the two. And I know that you came back to clarify and said that you're not necessarily comparing the two, but you're trying to make a point about people out there saying one thing versus another thing. And the best advice I can give anybody is don't pay attention to those people on Twitter, because at the end of the day, I mean, it's okay to like a game no matter where it is, Like, I love Ratchet and Clank, and I know many people that I'm friends with that might work at Xbox that love Ratchet and Clank too. It's just the game, the style, it's amazing, and this Psychonauts 2 looks amazing as well. I don't know if you know this, but I talked to TJ Fixman, and he was one of the original writers for Ratchet and Clank. I talked to him on Twitter, and I've always admired his comedic writing, because Ratchet and Clank touched special areas where, most games at the time would not go. They were kid themed, but they had adult jokes, right?
Well,
and
not necessarily kid themed. I was like, it was very pointed at teens. I was like, they pushed what they could get away with teens, because there was a lot of innuendos. And
yes,
I was like, it was even in the titles. I mean, come on, up your arsenal, going commando. Like they definitely pushed what they could get away with it. And I kind of agree with where you're coming from. I really always liked Ratchet and Clank. I was like, I've always kind of liked that color and art. I was like, I personally kind of agree with you. I like the writing of the older games, because I liked the story. I liked Ratchet's personality before, because he was like that reluctant and sarcastic, and you kind of see him being a little bit better, but he still had that kind of arrogance and in your face attitude. I was like, there's nothing wrong with the new ones. I was like, I know there's plenty of people who like them, but I agree that the writing and everything is going to be different. Not everyone's going to take to it as other people will.
Yeah, in this new one, it's a lot more mature. In the last one, there's a lot more mature subjects that are coming on board. So I do understand what you're saying with that. The old way was just more goofy, I would say. Much more like fun how they write the story.
Tongue in
And
cheek. Yeah.
I think
that
you
was
can get away. You can get away with a lot more back in the day. You can't really nowadays. So
I mean, you kind of can, but it's kind of harder when you're when with how it is skirting the teen line nowadays. It's kind of harder, like you said, to get away with what they did 10 years ago or so.
Well,
But
okay.
but clowns, you bring up a good point. Is that everyone is free to like what they want to like, and it is just these stupid trolls. And it's not just, I'm not gonna say it's just PlayStation trolls. We see a lot of them, but it's just trolls in general who are trying to knock Psychonauts 2 for its art style, for its look, for what it's doing gameplay wise. But honestly, I was like, it's probably one of the best looking, artistically, one of the best looking 3D platformers now. I was like, Psychonauts 1 way back in the day, I was in love with, right? I was like, I've always liked Double Fine's humor. I always like that kind of outlandish, goofy, kind of like Looney Tune style shenanigans and humor that Tim Schafer and his team was able to bring. And I remember playing the heck out of the first one way back on the PS2 when I was like a kid. I absolutely loved it, and finally seeing that they're doing the sequel has made me excited, and seeing how much it has grown and how they've been able to really make it so much bigger and more vibrant than it was back then. I'm absolutely looking forward to it. And anyone who's trying to knock on this, they're just doing it just because of the fact that that's what they want to do. It's no different than anyone who likes something like Astrobot's Playroom, right? If you look at Astrobot's cartoony and childish themed, but no one is knocking anyone for like that. No one knocked anyone for liking Sackboy's Adventure or any of the Little Big Planet games because of the fact that it has little characters that are based on little sock dolls. But the fact is, it was still enjoyable, even though the fact that it was cartoony and how they have the little cardboard enemies and everything. But no one said anything. So why is
It's to do with the
Psychonauts?
platform that it's on, isn't it? Like, it could be right on one platform, but if it's on another platform, then it gets downplayed and the Mickey taken out of it. But if that was on the other platform, it would be praised that it was great.
And that's the point, is that like what you like, but don't hate on something just because it's on a different platform or anything like that. Yeah. It's not like Psychonauts is not going to the PlayStation platform. It is. I was like, so the people are literally knocking it because of the fact that it's either the fact that now it's a first party studio, or they're just hating on it just to hate on it because they want to be trolly. The fact is, they've been very open from the beginning, saying, yeah, Psychonauts is going to be multi-platform since they originally crowdfunded it a couple years ago back on Fig. I was like, I was going to invest in it, but I couldn't at the time because I support Double Fine and what they do. And this is just one of those games that's just showing, hey, yeah, we're still putting it everywhere. Yeah, we're able to kind of utilize our main company's, hardware a little bit better. I was like, but we're also kind of limited on what we could do with others, because it's just like, hey, they can't make a native PlayStation 5 version because of the fact that they weren't allowed to, not necessarily because of Xbox interference or anything like that. That's not the case. It may be contractual obligations, or maybe the fact is that they never planned a PlayStation 5 at the time when this was originally announced, being only for PS4 and Xbox One. I think that's what a lot of other people are failed to see, because I know a lot of the hate is coming from the fact that it's not having a native PS5 version. It's just, hey, they didn't make a version for that, because ask any dev now, they say the PS5 and PS4 versions are very different. Whereas we've seen how it is for Xbox, saying, yeah, some of the changes being made from the Xbox Series consoles to the Xbox One consoles is a little bit different, but the series consoles are able to utilize what's being done for PC. So it makes it easy to be able to upgrade those ones, where it's not so much on the PlayStation side. And I think that's another thing to take into account.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like everything. So to me, I'm going to play it regardless. Yeah, I want to ask Jay something. Jay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
So, Retro Renegades, which is your fantastic show that you had to fill in for the Vice President Infinite because he wasn't available. Is Psychonauts something?
Just say it as it is. He's passed it on the toilet.
Yeah. Okay. Is Psychonauts 2 something that you guys would play on Retro Renegades since it's related to a retro title?
I would say so for sure. Infinite actually played the original Psychonauts. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? He played it, and we had a lot of fun with it. But yeah, definitely because it's a sequel to a game that is retro in our opinion. Yeah, we'd play it because it even still has, even though the graphics are very shiny
Dated.
and more. No, well, they're dated, but the newer game is going to have more modern looking. But if they're still based on the retro style, we'd definitely play that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks cool, and I wasn't a Psychonauts fan to begin with, so I mean, my vote on this is I'm gonna play it. Comes to Game Pass anyway. Why not? Why pass up an opportunity to try something if I have Game Pass Ultimate? So yeah, I'm excited for it. I think Tim Schafer is like a Tim Burton in a sense with his ideas and his creativity and what he allows his teams to kind of go back and forth with and come up with. It's just,
I mean, that's kind of what he stated in many interviews. That's where he gets a lot of his inspiration, is that Tim Burton and his wild, wacky, and that kind of like understanding and appreciating of like the Gothic style stuff. He's like, that's what he loved about Tim Burton. And he's just like, yeah, he's like, I just want to embrace the wacky. He's like, no one's going to stop me. He's like, if we want to do something weird, let's do it. I mean, you look at Day of the Tentacle to Grim Fandango and every other thing that they've done since. I was like, they don't sit in one style or anything. They like to just be all over the place.
Yeah. And even look at Brutal Legend. Brutal Legend had a heavy metal
yes.
world. A heavy metal world. And if you haven't played that game, you're doing yourself a disfavor.
If you are a metal fan, especially fans from the 80s, I was like, you absolutely have to. Honestly, if you even appreciate anything from that era, you have to, because this is one of the last ways for fans will be able to ever hear Lemmy do anything, because people don't know that Lemmy, who was the lead singer from Motley Crue,
Motorhead.
He did
Motorhead.
My bad. I was like, I knew it was an M, but the fact is that he actually did a voice line for his character within the game, and that was one of the last projects he did before he passed away. I was like, so it's one of the last ways to hear any of him doing anything just kind of outlandish. And of course, who doesn't appreciate Ozzy Osbourne and every other major icon that was in that game?
Exactly. Amazing game. It's one
amazing
of those
soundtrack.
games. Yeah, amazing soundtrack. Yeah, but it's one of those games that is kind of like split in two. Like it's a hack and slash game, and it's a strategy game.
Yeah, it becomes just in the middle of the game. It's like, what the hell's going on now? I need to command minions to do something for me, and I need to just fly around at that point. I'm like, what?
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a much different feel, but it was so cool. And the aesthetic of it just, the metalhead in me just got so excited to see all of it.
I mean, what other games can you kill someone with an axe, which is a guitar, and or play that guitar and electrify people? Come on.
Yeah.
Right there.
And also have a character literally that's voiced by none other than the legendary Jack Black himself.
Exactly.
Right? Literally yelling out decapitation as you see him slow motion.
Decapitation! All right,
exactly.
Sour.
God, I was like, now I want to go back and play that game again.
Well,
PK, can you hear us? PK?
I think PK's having some audio difficulties.
Yeah, I don't know if he's on the phone with somebody.
Yeah,
in the
he's
background.
having some difficulties.
He's having some difficulties.
Difficulties.
Okay.
Difficulties.
Well, I'm not really into kid games, but this does look colorful and fun. And you know, I wonder if like Game Pass has some sort of like download, like pay per download type deal with with companies. So if that, I hope they do, because that's how I'll support it, by downloading the game and trying it out.
Oh, they definitely did. I was like, to be fair, I was like, they made most of the funding that they needed through the crowdsourcing that they did originally. So I think that funding wise and money wise, they're kind of locked in. It's now more for those who actually crowdfunded it, what they're going to get back, because originally one of the things that they stated is that it was going to go based on sales, and how much you invested in it is that it's going to have a certain return percentage for fans to be able to get money back that they make for the sales. So that's more going to be the interesting aspect of how that's going to be compounded, being on all platforms now, also being funded and supported through the Game Pass, how that's going to affect those people who actually put into that. I think that's going to be one of the big interesting tidbits about Psychonauts 2 now.
Wow. I didn't know that. Impressive.
Oh yeah, I would say that as Jay said, I was like, the encyclopedia here actually pays attention to a lot of things over the years, but that was one of the real big things about Psychonauts 2 when they originally stated that they wanted to work on it. That had me excited, was the fact that, you know, everyone looks at what happens with Kickstarter and how Kickstarter is kind of a very dangerous field. They wanted to do something different and also support the fans that actually put into it, and they went through a program called FIG. And the big thing is that they offered a percentage based on the number of sales per the units for everyone who put into crowdfunding it. Based on that percentage that you put in, it would put you in a certain bracket on how much you would actually get out of it once all the total sales were done. I believe it was after the first year, I think, that they were going to quantify it, if I remember originally. But now that it's changed because they were acquired by Microsoft in the past couple of years, I know they made a statement saying that they're still honoring that, and that there is going to be some changes, but they would reach out to those original investors in regards to that. So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of pays back. So for those who invested in this game, y'all may be making more than y'all anticipated.
Wouldn't that be nice if Microsoft is just like, you know what? All those investors are great people. Saya, cut some checks. Check. You know, that'd be kind of cool.
That's what I'm saying, is that they may be making a lot more than they originally planned, and that makes you a little bit upset that I didn't invest in it at the time.
Yeah. Well, before we move on, does anyone have anything else they want to say on Psychonauts 2?
August 25th can't come fast enough.
It cannot come fast enough. Go play the original if you're interested in it. It plays much better now if you have a Series or One X console. Just saying. Do yourself a favor, enjoy the original humor, but the next one is going to be absolutely beautiful.
Nice. Well, I did want to get into that topic of speed running, but real quick, I just want to talk about this. I don't think a lot of people like this. This has 20,000 dislikes, 11,000 likes, and this is that new game that's coming out.
We're excited to share a first look at a project we're developing at Ubisoft San Francisco. This is our...
No, I actually didn't watch it yet, so I don't know.
I have, and a lot of people call it Tom Clancy's Nuzzles and Rars XD 80s or 2000 scene style, because of that art and that weird naming convention. My God.
I heard people are wondering why this has a Tom Clancy title on it.
Exactly. That's even the worst. And I'll make my point on that in a second. I want to let Clowns finish.
Because it's meant to be mixed a lot of different games. It's meant to be a bit like the Division.
I think it's just
Tom
because
Clancy games.
I think it has to do with the engine and it's in the style of Division.
I don't know if it's using the the Snowdrop engine. I don't know if they confirmed that. But they did basically say that each of the reason it has the Tom Clancy moniker is that each of the factions are based off a different faction from a different Tom Clancy game. We know that Echelon's obviously modeled after Splinter Cell. I believe the Outcasts and the Cleaners are based off two different groups from the Division. I think the Cleaners are from Division 1. The Outcasts are Division 2. And then I know the Wolves are based off of Ghost Recon, not Wildlands. It was the newest one, Breakpoint. They're based off them. But it's stupid. They shouldn't have used the Tom Clancy name. It reminds me a lot of what Konami did with Metal Gear Survive. The fact is that it was a zombie spinoff using the Metal Gear name to kind of garner attention for this original IP. Instead of letting it be its own thing, they used a name that did not have anything to do with that original series. The only thing that ties this to Tom Clancy is the fact that the factions are based off of other games. That's it. But the fact is that this game is more like a team-based hero shooter, similar to what we've seen with like Overwatch and things like that. That market is becoming more and more and more saturated. Overwatch has been like the de facto, but you look at that and now how even something like what's that one, Valorant on PC has been kind of compared to as a cross between Overwatch and CSGO. And that's kind of going, but the hero shooter itself is getting to the point where unless you do something completely different and unique, you're not going to break out. So companies are using established titles and names to kind of help these games, but because of the fact that they're using those established names and it's not the same, people look at it with even more scrutiny and say, why? You know, people weren't sure about the Rainbow Six Siege, but Rainbow Six Siege stood out on its own as a 5v5 team-based competitive shooter. But the fact is it's still grounded in what it does. This is not that. And the fact is they're trying to say, oh, we're trying to mix up styles and stand out. No, y'all are just trying to copy everything else and say you're trying to stand out. I really don't like it.
Looks like Call of Duty with special powers.
Yeah, Call of Duty, what's it, Black Ops 3? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, for me, the name doesn't matter because I'm not really.
So this is a straight up multiplayer game, right? Like,
yeah,
seems that way at least.
Yeah.
But for me, a name doesn't matter as long as the gameplay is okay. I can forgo the name. It's sad for the people that love Tom Clancy's and everything around it, but for me, meh.
To be fair, I think we're also still salty that it's been almost 10 years and we still haven't gotten a new Splinter Cell game.
Yeah, a new Sam Fisher game. Yeah, and then you see the logo on the bottom and you're raging like, why is he not? Why?
Yeah,
like they always put him in everywhere these days, like in all the games, but.
And that's why I told people, I was like, Sam Fisher, Splinter Cell is not getting another game. I was like, they're going to use him as the tying force for every other series to build into this one universe, but it's not getting another game because you see Sam in Rainbow Six, and then of course you see him in the Ghost Recon games and stuff like that. I don't know if they've put him in Division yet, but
they have the first Division. I don't know about the second one, maybe the second one, but you can like get Tom Clancy gear. You know,
yeah,
just like
I know the Splinter Cell. Yeah,
the Splinter Cell gear, but yeah, they're basically milking it for everything they can without actually
making the game. Yeah,
I'm actually honestly thinking like there has to be a thing that they're hyping it so hard that there is something in the works at this point, but they're just too early to show. That's what I think, because you don't market like a guy so hard that people want to, like everyone, like they know that everyone wants to see him again, that they're not making a game for a while. They put it everywhere else. It seems odd to me, like they basically making the new generation that doesn't know Sam Fisher of the old games, right? Maybe they're thinking about putting it this way and then easing it in basically.
I mean, I get where you're coming from, but you think that it's been 5-6 years since they started teasing them and everything. Yeah. They have to have something by now, unless they've basically been on an Anthem spree and completely revamping it almost every year. Which, if they are, that's even worse, that you can't think of something using one of the biggest characters within one of your flagship franchises.
Well, could be development hell.
think because some of the previous Splinter Cells didn't do so well, so that's probably why they're hesitant to make another one.
Well, also it doesn't fit their mission statement anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's a single player game. They don't do single player games anymore.
Yeah, I would say that's absolutely a good point. Is the fact of that they're like, okay, can we turn this into some sort of live service and be able to go? I was like, and I'll say this: I was like, Ubisoft has been one of the betters about some of their studios have been better about supporting their live service games. I mean, look at For Honor; they could have dropped that after the first year, but you look at it, it's on for year 5, and it's been significantly improved, and it still has a very competitive and active scene. So look at Siege. Siege is one of the de facto comp shooters that you see in multiple tournaments and stuff like that. Division, for all intents and purposes, still gets relatively active updates. So I mean, they do it. Doesn't mean that some people like it, but it's one of those things that you're right. I was like, for even their single player games, they're like, how can we get money out of this? Look at what they did to Assassin's Creed. All the booster packs, the EXP boosters, and hey, guess what? There's crafting now. You need materials. Guess what? You can buy those. Sam Fisher is in one of those games with Splinter Cell that you can really kind of implement that in easily. Anyways.
You know, I gotta
more from games of a service than they do from single player, don't they? So that's why.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I gotta say is, I really liked the Division 1. Right, that was one of my favorite games, and I probably beat that more than once, and I probably played it over and over again. And I really did a lot of the end game stuff over and over again with friends. Division 2, I really didn't get into as much. I don't know what it was. It didn't feel the same to me. It didn't feel as original. I didn't like the fact that they took it away from the kind of like the virus story. That virus story really intrigued me a lot, and that's what really hooked me on the game. And I think with this game, the fact that there is factions from Division 1, I'm probably going to play it. I don't know if I'll like the game, right? Like, I don't know if it's going to be balanced. I don't know if it's going to have issues, if we're going to fly in the sky and get stuck in the map anywhere. Because I don't feel like that this is really polished from what I'm looking at. It doesn't feel polished like a Call of Duty or even as polished as a Battlefield. But I'm willing to try it. And give it a shot. I hope I like it because I want something to play that's not Overwatch, that's not Destiny, that's not Call of Duty, you know. And I just hope that this is going to be the game for me. I know that Jay didn't really say anything, and I don't think Jay really likes first-person shooters at all.
Why would you say that?
Because you're a true Sonic.
We have a podcast called Retro Renegades.
No, I play everything. I actually play everything. And I was just trying to figure out what was the last Splinter Cell game there was. Was it Conviction? Was Conviction the last game?
Hold on, let me check.
Wasn't it the Blacklist one?
Or Blacklist?
Yeah, I think Blacklist.
Okay. And I played both of those games, and I finished both of those games. So I am a Sam Fisher Splinter Cell guy. And I also loved both divisions. So I like all these types of games. That's third person, and then you've got Division is kind of like like team co-op. I love that kind of stuff. I love it.
Yeah, that co-op shooter.
Yeah. I prefer co-op over competitive.
I agree with that. I was like, that's kind of what made in Splinter Cell Conviction, what was it called, Mercenaries, or the other two agents that you played, like their side story. And then Blacklist was interesting because you had the new agent that was basically working with Sam in the main story, and kind of going on and learning that. I was like, the fact that they incorporated that kind of co-op story into it also is really cool. So I get where you're coming from on liking the co-op action than the competitive scene.
And it might be my age too, right? Because the older I get, the slower my reflexes get, and I don't like the fact that I'm getting my ass handed to me by 12-year-olds. So if I have a team around me helping, I look better. Put it that way.
Okay, Jay, but do not forget you're a god of playing with one hand. So there is a a good and a bad side.
So we just shoot at the potato guy. We all team up against Potato Man.
Yeah.
He's not happy about
if
that.
Ubisoft do a deal with Microsoft to put this in Game Pass day one, I reckon it might do quite well because then a lot more people will try it. Whereas I think people are a bit hesitant. They have to pay $70 for it to try it out.
Isn't it supposed to be free to play?
It is free to play. It is
Oh,
free
it's
to play.
Okay,
So
yeah.
microtransactions up the arsehole.
Yeah. See, since it's free to play, I was like, I'll try it out with you, clowns. I was like, I'll give it a shot. I was like, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of going in biased a bit because of the fact that I'm not too happy about it, but I'll at least try it out. But they're not getting $1 out of me for that game. Nothing. Nada. I was like, they're lucky if they get an hour out of it.
I'm gonna try it.
So is it clowns with has anybody played the First Division since the FPS boost?
I think
Which one?
Mav
First
has.
Division?
I think Mav has
No.
gone back
The
to
First
play,
Division?
to be honest.
No.
I have not.
It feels
Because
like
I
a whole
couldn't
new
go-
game to me.
Really? I couldn't go back until after Division 2 when they did the boost to that as well. That was a great game, especially with all the DLC. Love that game too.
I enjoyed the grittiness of the first one over the second one. It just feels like the New York thing, I think, hit better than the Washington D.C. thing because Washington D.C. they kept it, during the spring summertime. So
Right.
that it's just
you
a
like the
different-
snow, is what you're saying.
I'm a Midwestern guy, man.
Hey, I'm
we're used to the
Canadian.
snow
I
up
hate
here.
the snow. That's why.
I was like, I'm too much of a Southern boy. I was like, I'll take heat any day. I can't do the cold.
You gotta earn these stripes up here during the winter. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
hell
no,
nah.
it feels like a whole new game, and if you guys want to just give it a shot and play around for like an hour or so, you'll feel this. It's very fun. I've replayed the Division like 4 or 5 times, like Clowns has said. So it's
I kind of agree
I
with
just love
Clowns,
the.
or maybe it was Jay. I was like, I love the story of the First
Yeah.
Division. I was like, it was honestly something cool. I was like, while the end game was missing early on, and I kind of fell off with it because this was when they pushed all the expansions back because they had to fix a lot of things right before the big like 2.0 overhaul where they reworked everything. The one thing that kept me intrigued in that game was the fact of that it felt like a Tom Clancy title with the world building. I was like, from finding all the little stories of everything going on in New York, finding all the characters, and then uncovering more and more about the virus and everything. I like that. That's what it felt to be in a Tom Clancy style game. A lot of things that they've done since don't have that kind of that same level of attention to detail that they gave that first one. And that's what kind of annoys me as a Tom Clancy fan.
So yeah, just give everyone in the chat, if you haven't played the Division or played it all through, you got to play it. Obviously, you have the main quests and everything, but always pay attention to those echoes. Pay attention to the echoes because that's the whole another story, and that's where the Division 2 Warlords of New York will kind of explain. It'll explain up to that because the rogue division agent is what really caught me and captured me. And I love the guy that played. I always research and who's this and who's that. And the voice that played Aaron Keener in the Division was also the voice of Meridius and Rise, Sun and Rome.
Oh
wow!
So,
I actually did not know. I actually did not know that.
So now, because he's always like Aaron Keener, he's always, well, you gotta go through like this, and then just think of that, that Rise voice, so I was like, he does sound familiar, and then I looked him up, and I was like, oh, okay, so caught me, made me pay more attention. But yeah, follow those echoes, man. I always kept them till last, so I could go through the story real quickly. But yeah.
Well, I was just looking through some of the XDefiant's website, and you can register now for the upcoming betas. PC is going to be first. on August 5th, and then I'm sure the other platforms are to follow. I registered for Xbox because that's where I'm gonna play it. But I'm excited.
In today's gaming age, man, it's very hard for me to want to play a beta and or demo. I just feel like because of all the patches and everything, like that first impression, people just latch on it, and if there's anything broken with that game, it's gonna be hard to heal that, and a lot of people will get turned off. Well, I played it and it, this thing was trash, and that'll make player 2, 3, and 4 not want to play it. So it's I do not like demos, especially since now everything has a day one patch, which is ridiculous. It's just it is what it is. But yeah, don't ever ask me to play a beta. I'll never play a beta. I gotta wait. I will wait.
It's all that with the FIFA demos. You play them and think, oh, this looks right, and then by the time the game comes out, they patch it so much that it ends up being rubbish.
Yeah.
Depends on game to game and developer from developer.
Yeah, he makes a good point. It does depend on game to game.
It seems like the richer development teams seem to not care as much as the.
No, they struggle more because they're a bigger ship. So when they need to do something about it, it takes longer. When it's a small indie studio and they have a game that releases like multiplayer, it takes not so long to do stuff about it. That's what's going on.
You know what? Kind of looking at this now, you know what this game reminds me of? Does anyone remember that arcade game, I think from like the 360 or like the Xbox One era and the PS4 and stuff like that? That shooter that was based on like Batman, where it's like one faction is like based on the Batman and the other one's based on the Joker.
I knew you were gonna say that from the coloring and the color, the art style, and the color palette. Yeah,
Gotham
what was that
City
game called?
Imposters?
Gotham. Yes.
Imposters?
That's what
Gotham
it was.
Imposters, that's what it was.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that was comic. That was comic style. This is not comics.
But if you look at look at the art
if you look
style,
at the
on
coloring,
this,
it's very
very
stand
bright.
out, yeah.
It is bright, but I would not.
But that's what I'm saying is that it still has that very similar feel with the way that it is. Like you have the clowns factions all with the way that they're kind of overly trying to stylize based on the Joker, and then of course you have the Knights or whatever they were called trying to base themselves off of Batman, but still have that kind of punky, grungy, like kind of look to them, which is kind of what I feel that they're doing with this XDefiant based on the Tom Clancy factions and stuff like that. That's just my thoughts when I looked at it.
Says.
Yeah, that's cell shading. Yeah, that's cell shading. Yeah.
Yep.
So, Timmy, any final thoughts from you? Is this something you're gonna get in the party chats and play with us?
Yeah, I'll have a go at that game. It does seem quite fun and interesting.
Okay, sounds cool. Flamish, the potato.
Yes.
With your amazing aim, are you gonna play this game?
Yes, I will try it. I put myself up for beta as well, thanks to you, Klaus. So I'll check it out when it comes to Xbox. Yeah.
Show us with how wide you can make your eyes, how excited you are for this game.
Dreadpool's in the chat, and he hasn't seen your anime girl yet.
My anime girl! Oh my god, I have to make that right now. Hello. There's even sparkles around me, That's can also be
hey. Oh, geez.
No, I can. I can be whatever you want. I can be like this day, which is a little bit horrified. I can be potato chip if you like me like that.
Tickling him, like tickle, tickle, tickle.
Oh, you want to tickle this? You want to tickle the chubby hamster? No, again, let's be a potato.
Dreadpool gave you the not feeling well face.
No, he did not.
Do you have
No.
a chocolate bar?
Chocolate?
Yeah, is there a chocolate bar?
Let me see.
You know what,
Wait,
Flamish?
it's-
It's only Thursday, and you've already ruined Dreadpool's weekend.
Nope. That's not chocolate. Ah, this is chocolate. Wow, I'm a chocolate cake.
It's a piece of chocolate cake.
Oh,
He's
Reese's.
floating.
Reese's.
Oh, there we
Pieces.
go. There we go.
Timmy, you're from England, right?
Australia.
Is that do you recognize that?
Oh, the Wham bar, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait
snap.
a minute. Is Mama sending you care packages of food?
We've sent
that
each
what's-
other one.
Is that what's going down? I want to try
It's
some
gone
of this.
down, man.
I want
I
to try
sent
Does
her
that
some.
have-
Cheetos.
Is that made with the blood of George Michaels?
Wham!
Wham, baby.
Wham,
listen.
Yeah,
There's
I
been a
sent
long
her
time since
Cheetos.
I've had one of those.
Lay's potato chips. I sent her Lucky Charms. They don't have that stuff there, so
Wow.
and she sent me stuff. Although this reminds me of an Airhead, so we'll see.
It does look like an
Oh,
Airhead, yeah.
It's pretty much an Airhead.
Does it taste better than than an Airhead?
It tastes healthier.
Yeah, because they don't use corn syrup like we do. We pour corn syrup in everything.
No, it's not bad.
Remember, they're very chewy and quite sort of tangy as well.
It's like taffy.
I wonder what their orange soda tastes like over there in the UK.
They said it doesn't look as orangey here, like the color.
Okay, what is the consensus? Orange Crush or Fanta Orange?
Ooh.
I go Crush.
Orange
I'm a
Crush.
Fanta guy.
But then what about Sunkissed?
I've not tried it.
I like Sunkist too. I like both, to be honest with you. Sunkist is that kind of you want that cold and you want to drink that real fast and it fills your stomach up and you don't feel hungry anymore. Fan is like you want to sip on that with a slice of pizza or something.
Then
You
you
know
also
why-
have Tango Orange as well. So
You know why Fanta has such a significant thing for me is because my mom used to run a restaurant back when I was a kid. And as the son of the woman who ran the restaurant, I could just go up to the fountain machine and take all the drinks I wanted. And I always filled a giant glass of Fanta Orange and drank it every time I was there. So I have these,
Oh, I
Fond
feel like I
memories.
should say this. 4G QTV in no way is representing Wham candy or any English candies or any orange pops. Okay.
But if they want to sponsor us, they can do so by getting in touch with us. I'm gonna.
In touch with me, the Flemish candy guy.
No, your girlfriend doesn't let you eat candy no more. She's cutting you.
Yeah,
off.
I got candy right here.
She cut you off.
Hey,
So
if she doesn't let you have candy, man, that's a keeper.
Sometimes. Get my candy sometimes.
no Snoop kiss for you. So real quick, before we all get out of here, because I know it's been like 2 hours already, and Flemish wants to show you more anime girls, and I don't want Dreadpool to get scared.
No, I want to talk real quickly about the large company that I'm really sad of now.
You want to talk about the lawsuit that's going on?
Yeah,
That you're gonna buy Diablo 2 Resurrected from?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, but Diablo 2
happened?
Resurrected isn't exactly of the company.
Well, okay, so
Is it?
yeah, it kind of is. They get money from that. I mean,
Okay, but it's a different
Yeah.
studio that's doing all the remakes like Tony Hawk and stuff. So I would not call it under the company. It's a different
But
studio.
isn't it still coming from them? Is it
yeah,
still being published by them?
it kinda
Okay.
is. It
Okay.
is.
Listen,
So-
I love it. I love it
It
too.
just
but
breaks
I,
my
I
heart.
can't. I know it does.
Real quick, I just
Are
gotta
we talking
say
about
this.
boycotting?
They
Oh.
are. Yes, Flemish definitely.
Uh huh.
I'm not gonna
so
boycott. Oh.
Don't make me tickle the potato. So anyway, basically what's going on, and I think a lot of people in the chat are already aware, is that Activision and Blizzard is being sued by the state of California, by Department of something or something. I can't remember. Forgive me. But there's allegations going back at least 4 years where there was basically male machoism, putting down female coworkers, talking about female coworkers in inappropriate ways, doing inappropriate things. And the Activision Blizzard of today responded and said that that's no longer their company, and they deny any wrongdoing, of course. The lawsuit still has to go through court, and Blizzard Activision is going to get a chance to defend themselves. So this is just the government saying we believe we have enough evidence to press charges. We're taking you to court, and now it's the company's job to defend themselves in the court of law. What this will do to Activision Blizzard, I have no idea. I do feel bad for anybody at that company that would have been put down in any way on equal pay. I'm against all forms of inequality. I'm a person who believes in equality for everyone, no matter who you are, or what disability, or what sex, or what race, or what creed, religion, or what you identify as. And I just feel like that these allegations are really, they're really hard to read through, some of them. And it kind of hurts, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't like the way that there are women that have come forward and made these allegations, and there's more than one. And I've seen other stuff on Twitter that talked about something happened to one of the girls, and I don't know because I didn't get a chance to read the whole story or both sides of the story. But what I do know is the allegations, if they are true, are very disgusting for any company to do to any employee. It's just not right.
Let me also clarify a little bit. Like, there's been an investigation by the state going on for 2 years about the company. So they actually investigated everything that was going on with the company, and it comes from the top, apparently, somewhere. Yeah, it's mostly inequality, but it's like complete harassment. What they're doing over there. That's what all the allegations are about. And there are certain people on Twitter that are already like, this one person on Twitter was a developer there over 10 years, I think, and he was very proud of the company, but now he actually removed his name from that he actually worked over there. Like, he doesn't want to be associated with Blizzard anymore because of these allegations. But
sadly, during this time, I read that a woman committed suicide during that time.
By following allegations of harassment to women, and also a lot of drinking involved, apparently.
I can't believe they're allowing them to drink. Like most places, if you go and drunk, you get sacked on the spot. I can't believe they'd actually allow them to go in there drunk and be drinking.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a lot
They were doing
going
drinking
wrong,
games.
I guess.
It was, yeah.
It was a lot.
And you seen how Blizzard, like, the last few years actually was going down in how they developed the game, especially World of Warcraft. One of them is like huge problem at the moment. Like, all the gamers are leaving to Final Fantasy 14 at this point. Like, a lot of abandonment of the franchise. And I am afraid for the future what they will do to the company. Will EA do like a huge shift and
well, it's Blizzard Activision. It's not EA.
Blizzard.
Yeah, but
Blizzard.
Activision. I'm afraid what they will do to Blizzard. Maybe rebuild the company from the ground up to get it all fixed. But we'll see. Just one of my favorite companies. It's hard to see that happen.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I understand why the guy removed, the profile because he doesn't want to be attacked amongst these allegations. And the company is very big, and who knows where and what took place, when and how it took place, and what versions of the studios it took place. But regardless, I mean, anything like this should have been handled appropriately by HR. And unfortunately, there is a lot of things that have come out in the past few years within the gaming industry that has really scared a lot of people, or a lot of talk that put fear, because there's been allegations of a lot of harassment at different places. And, like I said, I'm against all forms of harassment. I don't think it's right. And I hope that anybody who was harassed or has been harassed has been able to move on with their lives and find success, because it's heartbreaking to hear stories like this, especially what you said, Midway. If somebody did indeed take their own life, that is just, it's terrible. I got no more words to say on this. It's really horrifying.
I mean, it all comes down to the fact that this, as you mentioned, there's been so much coming out over the past couple years, is that this is an industry-wide issue, and it's really come to light in the past couple years, looking at a lot of the companies that have been called out on it. One of the biggest names was what happened with Riot. Riot had that whole lawsuit and everything that came out about them. Then there was reports about Quantic Dream over there in France, I think they are over there. And then there's more and more companies where there's been stuff brought out. There was someone last year who talked about what she went through at Insomniac. And the fact is that there's too many executives and people in place that are allowing this to go through. And as much as we want to say that HR should have done better, HR, sometimes some of the people in HR are some of the ones doing it, as well as the fact that they say HR is not your friend. The sad fact of it is they're not there to protect the people. They're there to protect the company. They try to push things out of the way to make sure that there's not a big issue. I was like, and that's where it comes down to the fact is that some of these people report these things and either it gets ignored or they basically get pushed out of the company and either forced to quit or they resign because of the fact that nothing's being done. And this is just coming to the point of where there's too much coming out now. It's different if these people said something to one person or even said it to media sites and they kind of took the story and kind of helped blow it up. But the fact is that this is an external hidden investigation done by the state of California themselves, speaking to multiple people and looking into things and coming to their own conclusion. And the state government is the one suing the company. And it's not people just creating a false story or anything like that. It's the state themselves that are bringing this out in the open based on their own independent investigation. And the fact is that this is something that's kind of permeated through the industry for years and really for a long time. And I know, I was like you clowns, we have plenty of friends within the industry ourselves. Many of them women of different races, orientations, and stuff like that. And a lot of them have been through this scenario at other companies. And it's sad that so many of them are just now being able to kind of talk about it because of how much gets pushed aside. Granted, some of them are in much better places now where they're able to really prosper the way that they should and get to where they deserve to be. But the fact of it remains that this is something that for far too long has been allowed to happen. And for us as fans of this medium and active in this industry, we also have to be points of our voices to say, hey, this should not be allowed. It doesn't matter what kind of stuff that we like from whatever developer or whatever company. These allegations and these practices shouldn't be allowed to happen. These need to end. This needs to end. And I was like, and one of the biggest things is that we have to show that we can't support it. And there's a reason that so many people are leaving a lot of Activision's games is that it hurts, especially for some fans of that. You look at, like for me, right? Crash Bandicoot and Spyro are very big games for me because they're a part of my childhood, playing them way back on the PS1. And the fact is that Activision now owns those IPs. And I bought recently the remastered trilogies and stuff like that. And now coming about this kind of hurts me because of the fact that that's a part of my upbringing that's being stained by what this company has done. You see people are leaving WoW. People are dropping or wanting to drop Call of Duty. People are moving because of the fact that this isn't something that can be actively okayed in any way. So I really hope that this brings more people able to speak up, because this is just something that can't be done. And yes, it's certain individuals, but the fact is that when these certain individuals are allowed to go as long as they do, and it grows and grows and people are afraid to speak out, that's when it becomes a company issue and an industry issue, when it's constantly being overlooked or basically being covered up or basically just people being protected, except the people that this happened to. There's a reason why you look at victim shaming and in big sexual assault cases, why people don't speak up, because the fact that they say that if I say something, no one's going to believe me. And even if something does come of it, I'm going to get blamed, because that's what it always turns into. It always turns into he said, she said, and the one who gets away with it, or the one who gets the worst of it, is the victims themselves, never the person who's doing the assault. And that's where it comes, the worst part of this industry kept secret. It's just heartbreaking.
It is. Every time we hear a story about that, it's just something you don't want to happen to any company in general. It's always sad to see that happen when it gets brought to light eventually, which will always happen. I mean, like all things will come to light eventually. So it's just better to not do it. I mean, it's just not good for the company, not good for the work environment of the people that work there. It just creates, things like what you see in Shadowlands and stuff like that. They don't listen to community and doing their own stuff. And this is probably one of the reasons. That's what I feel like. It's connecting, and people are seeing connections. Like what's going on Blizzard, people are always asking, questioning what's going on behind the scenes. This could be one of the things that made it that we have bad expansions, and just bad decisions overall. So, and double standards.
This is just a time right now where it's social reformation. I mean, they sadly, bad things have to come out of, what is it? The darkest comes before the dawn, right? So, I mean, sadly, things are going to have to come out for things to change. And the one thing that, obviously, it has to start with the employees, because they're the ones that are creating they're the ones that are creating the uncomfortable situations. They're the ones that are harassing. They're the ones that are attacking. So if people start seeing examples being made of, they are going to think twice. Sadly, not every parent is amazing. Not every kid is of the same mindset, or just sadly, everyone's chemistry is different, and some just can't be helped, but others can be changed. So, I mean, there's always going to be those bad eggs in it, but like Joker says, you can't make an omelet without cracking some eggs. So this is honestly, yes, it's a negative for Activision, but a positive for people in the workplace that are not forthcoming with anything, because now I think they're starting to see that they can be taken seriously, and they can be brave and start coming forward. And it's a slow progression, but There's a lot of good that's coming from this.
I think it's also something that's prevalent from older generation, like the newer generations don't. I think it's a lot less common. Basically, I think this is more like with the like how it was back in the old days. Basically, that you had inequality and all that stuff. And I feel that in, let's say, 20, 30 years, it will be a lot better overall. But that's my opinion. I just think it's like newer generation will not, it will not happen that much, at least.
I think
20...
I just want sorry, I just want to say something based off of what
okay.
Flamish said. I think there is a little disagreement with that because social media has brought a lot of things to light. I think when it comes to racial injustices, harassments, workplace harassments and all of that stuff, it's people are starting to come forward on social platforms rather than to the police, which is bringing these things to light. And that's when the police are starting to come and or lawsuits and everything like that judiciously because of what's being said on these social media platforms. 30 years ago, they didn't have this. You know what they would say? Times were simpler back then. Like everyone only had to worry about their small town and what was going on in their small town. Like nobody had to worry about it on a national level, and that's what's starting to happen now. I understand your reasoning, but I can also see how that type of thinking is just hard to believe, especially with what's happened in the last 5 years. So
it's a double-edged sword, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Timmy, Jay, anything you want to say on this topic?
I was holding back, and I think I will hold back on commenting on this, mainly because there's a situation going on at my workplace right now, and related to a lot of what you guys have been speaking about. And yeah, I think I'm going to hold back right now just because they're still my employer, and anything I say can be held against me, basically. So
yeah.
Okay.
Timmy.
Just goes to show how, how crazy, society and stuff's gone nowadays. That a lot of this sort of stuff still keeps happening. Even in the olden days, they used to get away with it because people used to turn a blind eye to it, and it's a thing to do. But even nowadays, when there should be a lot more to go against this kind of stuff, but still keeps happening.
Yeah.
If a business, if a company was smart, they would get ahead of this thing and not get it to the point where it has become, especially with Activision and all that. Like they would have terminated the employee. They would have I mean, why it's a very I mean, HR should be retermed evil PR because I feel like they just tend to get in their own way instead of actually taking action or trying to sweep things under the rug. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, one of the biggest misconceptions is that human resources are there to protect the employees. They are not. They are there to protect the organization.
That's one of the first things they tell you with HR. Hey, we're here for you. No.
Yeah, it's never in your favor, and that's the sad part of it all.
I'm sorry, guys. I really wanted to talk about this because it's one of my favorite companies.
That's okay.
It's okay.
But I know that now we've been past the 2-hour mark, and our buddy Stinger has a show coming up at 9 p.m.
Yes, the
Eastern.
original Next Level Gaming, everybody. Don't forget, 10 o'clock. Well, 10 o'clock my time.
Eastern.
9 o'clock your time.
9 o'clock Eastern, yeah. 10 o'clock Arctic Canadian time. And,
Saskatchewan.
It's so cold up here.
Yeah, it was like 32 degrees Celsius, Jay, today.
Dude, it was 32 here.
Nice. So you're kind of like melting the Arctic cap over. That's great.
That's right.
Great to hear it.
Exactly.
It was 88 degrees here. I'm burnt.
That's a little cold. I might get a scarf for that.
I think it's been around about 27, I think, around where I am. Maybe sometimes 30 in some areas.
Flemish, you might be on fire.
Might be on fire.
No. I'm just celebrating show next level gaming. Woo!
Excellent.
So let's get everybody out of here. So our Gamers United Guild brothers over there at Next Level Gaming get their show on at 9 p.m. Eastern. So head over there right after we end the show. Please listen to everybody's outro. Please do that. So Timmy, where can people find you when you're not working on Australian wool?
On Twitter at it's TimmyV2 and on Xbox at V2Timmy.
Did you kill version 1?
Nah.
See how he laughed?
2.0 is always better than 1.0.
He laughed and then ignored the question.
I wonder why we don't hear any roommate music anymore.
Like I said, I told you there's already one that plays Apex.
Huh, okay. That's interesting.
But his is spelled different to mine.
Potato's confused and he's dancing to me. I don't know what to think about this. It's crazy how his face cam could dance. Potato Flamish. Can you tell people where they can find you and what you'll be working on the VR Zombie Headshot Fever?
Yeah, so Zombieland Headshot Fever will be a game that I'll be covering on 4GQTV soon. And then, of course, you can find me over here on 4GQTV with the weekly show, maybe some interviews or something like that. We'll see. And then, of course, on my own channel, Flemish, on YouTube here. And yeah, I'll see you guys around.
Nice. And Jay, Retro Renegades, Gamers United Guild, be supported and be supported.
That's
right?
All
That's
hell
right.
Jay. All hell Jay.
All hell
Jay.
Okay. Calm it down. Calm it down a little bit. Yes. So you can find me and a lot of these beautiful people, and we're gonna have to get you on that show, Bloody. Even though you say you're streaming at the same time, I'm gonna pull you out of your own streaming to come on our show. How's that?
I mean, if you ask me, I will do it.
Damn right. I'm asking you right now.
Okay.
Well, then I'll
So we do Retro Renegades on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we play retro games. We shoot the shit with our friends. We usually have a panel of 10 people, and we're just laughing and drinking beer and telling stories about, well, Clowns' mom will be telling stories and getting his aunt involved, telling stories that they probably shouldn't be telling to the public, but we're the exclusive place to get those stories. And yeah, that's kind of what we do. We have a lot of fun, and if you want to check us out. Look for us on YouTube and Retro Renegades. You'll recognize the purple logo, and it's myself and Infinite and Crispy Bomb and Jago and our long lost brother Jeepers Creepers has come back to us, and he's been with us. Flamish is a member, and Clowns shows up. Clowns' mom is a member. Clowns' aunt is a member. It's such a fun time. Who did I forget? Oh, Timmy shows up once in a while when we invite him, but sometimes we lock the party because
maybe I'll pop on soon.
and Midway, of course, like all of our friends are invited. So you let us know when you want to be on, and it's just a fun time, guys. There's no expectations. The only thing you're expected to do is bring your own beer. Put it that way.
Fair enough.
Have fun with it, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Or orange soda. Or Mountain Dew. or
Fanta.
tea,
Fanta
hot
Orange.
tea.
Or Wham candy bars.
That's right.
Wham!
And now we go to the Hulk of Chicago. Where can people find you, man?
Midway 8 Monster on Twitter. Fun show, guys. Glad to catch all of y'all. It's always a pleasure. Too bad PK. Something happened with PK. I wish everything was good with him. Timmy, it's always fun to talk with you. Jay, the next time you're on, you got to name every game that's on those TV screens behind
I can do it. I played them all. That's all my. Oh, and I totally forgot about Yobi. Yobi's insulted that I missed him, and I said I forgot someone. I knew I forgot someone. So yes, Yobi too, and we even forgot Stinking Corpse, but he's been on hiatus lately. So
what about Jago? You didn't say Jago either.
I did say Jago, but there's so many
hear
of us.
it. I didn't hear
Yeah,
it.
well, clean out your ears.
You
You
heard
didn't say
now.
Infinite either.
Infinite, yeah, but Infinite's a host.
All right, to
Oh,
continue
okay.
my outro.
Sorry.
Bloody Nuck's always a fun time. Hey, I'm digging those rings, by the way. I'm digging those rings.
Much appreciated.
Yeah. Oh, bro.
Awesome.
My goal is to have one on every
y-
finger.
There you go, man. Can you play like that?
Yeah, I mean that's typically how I stream.
There you go. But yeah, it looks like Microsoft Flight Simulator is downloading for me right now, which is awesome. So I'm excited to get that going. Hopefully, what is it? The 27th?
27.
27th. Thank you.
Yeah,
I knew it was something
27th,
like
yeah.
that.
I'm so excited.
So yeah, fun week coming up here. Gonna fly over the house, right? So yeah, hey, I'm always here for GQ TV every Thursday at 5:30 Central Time, 6:30 Eastern Time, and can't wait to come back next week. Let's do it again.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then our man, special guest, who's united with me against Pokemon Unite, Bloody Nux. Where can people find you, man?
Hey man, everyone, you guys know where y'all can find me. Y'all can find me over on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com, and Twitch.tv/BloodyNux, where I stream 5 times a week. That's KNUX. And yeah, I was like, actually, after this, I'm going to be streaming here in a bit. I'm going to be continuing where I left off with Deadly Premonition. I'm going back to an old classic cold horror game. I was like, been having fun with that. So, so definitely digging in my own retro catalog as I can, going back and playing that 360 classic. But yeah, I was like, I appreciate, as always, you invited me out here, clowns. I was like, I do love talking with you guys and talking with everyone here on the show. It's always good to talk with everyone. Good having talking with you again midway. I was like, glad that you're enjoying the hardware, as my girl calls it. I was like, and I'm only gonna get more here in time. Jay, it's good to finally be doing something with you live. And yes,
You
I
too,
will
brother.
be on RetroRenegades at some point or another. I was like, I know we're gonna make that happen now. And of course, Flammy Flam, it's good to see you again, my favorite magic potato. I was like, I need to go get some potatoes now myself, because now I'm hungry for one.
I just realized something. He wears all the rings because it stops the bleeding.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Bloody knuckles, get it? There you
It does.
go.
It does.
Excellent.
Also, it also increases the other person's bleeding, not mine. And Tim, it's always good to talk to you. My favorite person. I was like, it's been a minute since we've actually done anything, and actually since we've even been in a party chat. So it's good to talk to you again with everything going on. So it's just a good time every time I come out here.
Awesome, man. Well, everybody who's listening, you can all find me on this channel, 4GQ TV. We're going to be doing a Marvel show soon. Jay's done these fantastic graphics for us. It's going to be with Paris, who's been on some of the interviews. We have an interview dropping with the Blurred Girl, who is part of Sci-Fi Network, Sci-Fi Wire, Rotten Tomatoes, Nerdist. She does red carpet interviews. She's really cool. and we recently got approved for Gamescom. We got approved for Viacom CBS Media. We just got approved tonight for Warner Media as well for WB.
Nice.
So TV Land, we're approved for screeners, and we're penning NBC, Universal, and Netflix. And soon we should have press accreditation at almost all the outlets, and we're going to try to cover different things through different shows, because we kind of want to cover the whole entertainment industry and do things that other channels aren't, because there's more than games in entertainment. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Like, Jay likes to watch the show Lucifer. I would love to interview the actors in Lucifer, and I would bring them on for that as well. So don't forget, NLG, they're running a little bit late tonight according to the tweet, but check them out. Go give them a follow, subscribe, join, shout them out in the chat. All hail Stinger, say that constantly. And yeah, until next time, guys, thank you for all coming out tonight. It was a pleasure talking to everybody.
Later, everyone.
Later,
Later,
See you
guys.
later.
Peace out. See y'all next time.